and the truth get exposed. Let's talk about it. X-Rated Sports Network. If it's game time talk, we the ones who connect. X-Rated Sports Network. Where the hot takes live and the truth get checked.
We'll do it live with a monster show. We are Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. It's the usual suspects, y'all. It is Rick Kamla. Lower left, we have Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend. Out in L.A. holding it down, it is A.M. Pfeffer. And there he is, Dr. X. Dr. Phil McDonald. Let's flash the X here, X-Rated Sports Network.
I'm flashing this right now, Rick. I'm flashing this right now. UConn, baby.
Oh, man. Last night, dude, that was the pissed off coaches bowl between Coach Hurley and Coach Cronin. I mean, dude, Coach Cronin, dude, he yells at his players more than Tom Thibodeau yells at players. I mean, it is out of control with that guy. Is he ever going to win anything big, by the way? Anyway, so tremendous win for your Huskies last night, Doc. The NCA Tournament is going on. We have 2, maybe 3 guests today. Actor Ra Libo is going to join us at 3 p.m. Eastern time. My favorite bass player of all time, Mark Brownstein of the Disco Biscuits, is going to join us at 3:30. We may be joined by their new drummer, Marlin B. Lewis. I don't know. That's kind of a TBD joint right now. And so I'm excited to get the party started with you guys. The tournament is rolling. Anybody got a busted bracket yet? Because I know, and we're going to talk about favorite moment of the tournament later on in the show. But I lost. Who did I lose last night? Florida to freaking Iowa. Iowa. Come on. Iowa's an armpit. What is happening here? Florida's out there and they lose. They took a big L, man. So they were one of my Final Four teams. But you guys know that I picked Izzo and Michigan State because I thought Izzo was retiring, right? Well, I completely booted that. But they're in the Sweet 16, and there are other people picking Michigan State to win it all. So anybody else got a busted bracket here?
I'm good. I've got 3. Well,
no, you're not.
Along with you.
You're like 4th place. You're not good.
No, hold on.
I'm second place.
That's not true. That's not true. I've got 3/4 of my Final Four are still in the tournament. I don't care how it gets there. I just want to get there.
Of course.
Right? So I could care less. Florida lost last night, but I've still got Arkansas. I've still got UConn, and I've still got Michigan. I've got Michigan winning the national championship. So as long as that path is still there, I could care less how I get there. As long as Michigan is still there,
I like that concept.
and they win the championship, I'm good. I could care less.
Yeah. Well, B-Dot's first.
I got a busted fantasy bracket, I could tell you that. To one Rick Kamla, look, we got to give the accolades where they're due. Come on, Rick. You know it. You hit my tushy this last week, man. It wasn't even close. Coast to coast, 7 straight days. Kamalama, man. He absolutely destroyed it. And now we know why you are the godfather of NBA fantasy basketball. That's just what it is. I mean, I was pretty much in first place the entire season. I had a good run. I was feeling good coming off my semifinal win going up against you. It wasn't even close, man.
You know why? You know why? Because Rick is a full-time killer.
Yeah, dude. Rick, you are a full-time fantasy killer.
Yes!
Full stop. Rick
oh my gosh. I wish we had B-Dot here for the cutaway eye roll when you say part-time. I love the B-Dot eye roll on that comment. No, I appreciate you guys. So I told you guys off the air, like, this is a big-time championship for me. It's my first year here with X-Rated Sports Network, and you guys are all really good. And think about it. I got off to a terrible start. Doc hammered me week 1. I was in last place. And then it took half the year to get out of that hole. I'm not even making this up. And I'm 7th, I'm 6th, I'm 7th, I'm 6th. Okay, now I'm hitting a little heater. I'm 5th. Okay, I got up to 4. But the key is never give up. Like some people, I'm in 10th place and it's, we're 6 weeks in. My team sucks. Okay, that's it. No. Keep grinding. And you know what else brings me satisfaction? People in the league were hating on me for dropping Cooper Flagg and Alex Sarr in the first round of the playoffs. Remember this? And I said, do you think I wanted to drop these guys? No. But, dude, it's the playoffs. There's no tomorrow. Survive in advance. And obviously the waiver wire was my savior. I finished the season with 6 guys off waivers, 7 guys that I drafted, and that does not include Flag and Sar. But anyway, Doc, great league. Love the rules of your league, the layout of your league, and so I'm happy with the chip, man. I'm happy with it.
Appreciate that.
Rick took my double chip. You know, I was gonna have football and basketball in the same year, man. I would have been rocking the rings on next year on XSN.
We just couldn't say nothing to you forever, so I was glad that you got that. One is good enough.
That's fair. One's good enough.
Wow. Maybe some. Never mind.
No, you're gonna get a real ring, Rick. Seriously, you're gonna get a real ring.
Thank you.
Listen to Dwight.
Make believe.
Are you talking to us or the audience, Dwight? Because there's a lot of fantasy people out there watching, loving us for playing.
I plead the Bills now on that one. I plead the 5th.
Yeah.
All right. So I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I got more chips to win, and hopefully I can pull those off as well. And look forward to next year. Okay. The Lakers are the top story in the league right now. Luke Kennard hits the game winner on Saturday in Orlando. They've won 9 games in a row. And, to see the love fest after the Kennard shot was really cool. Mobbed by LeBron and all this stuff. It's the good stuff of basketball, man, and sports. Tonight, the Lakers are in Detroit Rock City to play the Cadeless Pistons. Luka just dropped 60 on the second of a back-to-back. Same night, LeBron James passed Robert Parrish for the most games played ever. Or I think he tied him that night. But over the weekend, with the Orlando game, he passed the Chief for the most games played all time. Luka has some Wilt history going on right now. He and Wilt are the only players in history to average 40-plus points over a 9-game winning streak. Luka's at 48-7, 40 points, 8-7 with the Reeves and assists. Over these 9 games, it may go to 10 games tonight. I mean, frankly, I like their chances against the Pistons without Cade. So the Lakers are a vibe right now, but are they for real? That's the conversation here, guys. The Lakers basically have secured the 3rd seed. They look very good for that. They're going to match up with either Minnesota, Denver, or Houston in round 1 by all accounts, unless something crazy happens, okay? So the question is, and Dr. X, you are first here, are the Lakers legit contenders?
Just like the analogy you used about never giving up as it relates to fantasy basketball, I think that's the same thing with the Lakers. It really depends on who they match up with. Unfortunately, I think if it is the Timberwolves will have their number just like they did last year. I know the only difference that they may have is DeAndre Ayton, and I don't think he moves the needle enough for me. It's nice to have Luke Kennard. I think Marcus Smart might muck it up a little bit, but I think if they play Houston, I got them beating Houston in a series. So it really depends. And, surprisingly, I think the only team that they probably would struggle with is really OKC. I think they could beat Denver. I also think they could beat San Antonio. They're kind of like the Knicks of the West Coast. It's like any given night, except for maybe OKC, they can beat that team in a 7-game series. But they can also lose to anybody in a 7-game series. So I think they have enough talent to pull it off, and you kind of just got to see who's better coach, who plays better defense, who makes better adjustments. But the Lakers are talented enough to beat anybody, and excluding OKC, in my opinion. You're on mute. You're on mute, Rick.
Sorry, I got a head cold, guys. So this. I've gone 2 shows without the mute. I've gone 2 shows without the mute button.
Okay.
I have. I've gone 2 shows. I'm not like saying it to you, Doc. I'm saying it to the world. Like I feel pretty good about that too. I got a head cold today, guys, which sucks. It's why my nose is redder than usual. So I apologize for that. Any more wanderlust for Coach Hurley, Doc? You good with JJ Redick out there in LA?
I like JJ Redick out there in LA. What do you mean in terms of Hurley?
Oh, remember Coach Hurley of UConn almost took the.
Oh, yes.
Remember the Lakers wanted him, and he decided to stay at UConn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that was actually perfect that he didn't do that. I feel like he fits with UConn. I think he was also trying for the 3-peat, so that made sense why he turned that down. And I think JJ Redick is nice.
he used the Lakers as a stalking horse too. Let's not get it
Of
twisted.
course.
That's
Of course.
what he did.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And just imagine had Hurley taken that job with the Lakers, he might be fired already.
Yeah, I could see that. I agree with that.
It's a good point. They have itchy trigger fingers in the NBA. Just ask Frank Vogel and Adrian Griffin and Coach Bud down in Phoenix and Stan Van Gundy in New Orleans. And do I need to go on? I don't. Let's go to Dwight Walton here. Dwight, I'm going to take your line from you, Dwight, because I love you. You are the resident LeBron advocate. I just want you to know I'm paying attention, homie. Okay, so with that being said, but that doesn't necessarily mean you think the Lakers are legit contenders. Okay,
Correct.
So do you think they are legit contenders?
They're having a great 9, 10, 11 game stretch, Rick. But do I think they're legit contenders? No, I don't. And the reason why I say that, they may this year, the way they're playing now, and this is the time to peak in an NBA season. They're gaining momentum at the right time. But as my cousin astutely said, it depends on the matchups. Now, can they get out of a first round series against either Denver, Houston, or Minnesota? Sure, I'll give them a chance. But can they compete? Now, it's great to be in the third spot because you will know who you can hone in on in your first round matchup. As opposed to OKC and San Antonio, they have to wait for the play-in situation before they can start scouting their opponent. The Lakers will have a full week to scout Denver, Minnesota, or Houston. So do I give them a chance to get out of the first round? Sure, I'll give them a puncher's chance. Now, in the second round, that means they're playing the San Antonio Spurs. And based on how the games have gone in the regular season, I don't like the Lakers' chances against San Antonio nor Oklahoma City. And those are the two teams I'll have to go through in order to get to the NBA Finals, which is why I don't think the Lakers are legit championship contenders. Will they make those series interesting? Anytime you have Luka Dončić, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James on your roster, a motivated DeAndre Ayton, and a great dog defensively in Marcus Smart, sure, you'll compete, but are they good enough? Can they sustain defense long enough against more athletic and, quite frankly, better teams? I don't think they can this season. That's why, as much as I am cheering for the Lakers and my advocacy for LeBron James, of course I want to see them do well. But for them to get through San Antonio and Oklahoma City, I don't see that happening. So to me, that doesn't make the Lakers legit contenders. They're a great story now. They're doing things great on both sides of the ball. Luka Dončić has thrust himself once again into a top 3 finish as an NBA's most valuable player. But it's great right now. Can it be sustained in the playoffs? Maybe past the first round, but not the Western Conference semifinal, nor the Western Conference finals. So the Lakers are not legit contenders.
I love the take, Dwight. We go back to the Lakers' backyard, Glendale, California, where our studios are, and A.M. Pfeffer. And A.M. Pfeffer is a Knicks fan, but he also keeps a side eye on the L.A. Lakers. I see you, A.M. So are the Lakers legit contenders?
Glendale, California. I'm here to tell you, first, the accolades, my friend. I said right at the beginning of the season when we were taping the show in October, November, I said, hey, the Lakers were built for the playoffs. I still believe that the way they constructed the roster was ultimately to get to the playoffs. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's still the right roster and that they're that good. JJ Redick, all the accolades to you. Been saying all year you're a top 5 coach, and you consistently prove it. You got the Lakers through the swoon. You're getting LeBron to do what he needs to do, buying in the exact way LeBron needs to play. The last 10 or 11 games on this streak, you guys are I think 4th in net rating in the league. The defense has improved tremendously. You've inserted Marcus Smart into the starting lineup, and it's going swimmingly despite his poor shooting percentages. All of that is great. You've gotten Ayton after his complaints through the media to play the right way, the way the team needs him to play, the way he was expected to play, even for the dollars and cents you're paying this guy. All of this is great, but are they legit contenders? No, they are not. Marcus Smart at some point is going to pontoon you. You can't put him out there 33 to 36 minutes a game. It's just not going to work deep into the playoffs. And at some point, I'm sorry to say, his health is going to give out. He's as fit as I've ever seen him, or at least certainly the last 5 years, but I don't expect that to last, especially in the playoffs through 20 games. Austin Reeves, he has been sensational through all of this. Luka, we know, but Austin's been just as good as advertised, especially in the beginning of the year. And has he taken that step? Well, I don't know if he's taken the step for the playoffs. And even if he has, it's still not going to be enough because he can't defend the way you need him to defend. I mean, past Luka, Austin, and LeBron, you're ultimately relying on effectively Ayton, Rui, Marcus Smart, and then Kennard. He's 7 statistics on your team. That's not good. Those aren't the guys you really need. Again, you're built for the playoffs to sustain and do something and compete, but I don't expect you after potentially first or maybe even second round, as we're talking about here, to get through the Western Conference Finals and certainly to get into the finals. I don't think they're legit contenders. All the respect in the world to JJ and the team and where they've landed and the fact that they're going to end up with the 3 or 4 seed, and it is exciting. And man, Los Angeles is so much better when the Lake Show are doing well. And you're right, Rick. I'm side-eyeing them like a side piece, and I'm excited that they're that good. I do like when they're good, even as a Knicks fan, but I don't see them as legit contenders, at least not at the moment.
All right. So as it turns out here, and I say this with love and respect and affection, Dr. X is on Dr. X Island. This is a 3-1 joint. This is a 3-1 joint. I also say the Lakers are not legit contenders. A couple of reasons here. Number one, the only player in the Lakers' 9-man rotation who defends is Marcus Smart. He's the only guy. One guy out of 9. That is not going to work. Can LeBron get a chase down block? Can he come up with a big defense? Yes, it's not sustainable. We've known this for a decade at least, okay? He hides on defense a lot. Even back when he was 10 years younger, he hid on defense in Cleveland, okay? I wasn't mad at him. You got to save energy or whatever. I was kind of mad at him, but like, you're LeBron. Why are you hiding at all, ever? Number 2, a big 3 is no longer the model for big-time success. You got to have a crew. Crews win chips. Big 3s don't win chips. When's the last big 3 to win a chip? Oh, wait, probably the Heatles, okay? We probably got to go back that far. And you could carve up big 3s, you know, Durant and Clay and Steph. To me, that's not a big 3. That was a crew, okay? And then Draymond's your 4th guy. You had all these terrific players. That was a crew. So number 3, the Lakers are a north of mid team. I can't just call them mid because like the Hawks are so mid, right? They're not that mid, right? Or Golden State. They're so mid. I can't do that to the Lakers, but they're a north of mid team. I still do have mid in their adjective phrasing. So they're a north of mid team that is glamorized because of the big names and the uniform and the mystique and blah, blah, blah. We get it. The Laker numbers, okay, let's look into some numbers here. They're mid almost across the board. So they're 8th in offensive rating. That's as good as it gets, guys. It only goes downhill from here. They're 20th in defensive rating. They're 13th in net rating, so mid. They're 20th in pace. It's not where you want to be. 11th in points per game and 15th in points per game allowed. Mid. They're north of mid offensively, possibly elite offensively. And I'm sorry for all the congestion and all the static and whatever, but it is what it is. I'm pushing through here for y'all. Bottom line, there is only one way for the Lakers to get to the second round, and that's all that would happen to them. The ceiling is a second round visit where they get spanked by the San Antonio Spurs. That's the Lakers ceiling. That's what you have to look forward to if you're lucky enough to get past the first round, which I don't think they're going to. If the Lakers meet the Timberwolves, and Doc here again, and if you and I want to play tennis, a little side debate here, You just said you think the Wolves have their number. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just think, and I'll explain. But to me, the only way the Lakers get to the second round is a matchup with Minnesota in the 3-6. I do believe that the Lakers, with this collection, would beat this collection of Minnesota Timberwolves. And that's the only way. I do not see the Lakers beating Denver in the first round. Guys, we know Denver obviously hugely has their number in the playoffs. Look at Jamal Murray's number set up with LA. He is a Laker killer. And Denver has more depth. They got Jokic. No. The Lakers aren't beating them. I would pick Houston over the Lakers in a first-round series because Houston is balanced. They're an offensive team. They're a defensive team. They're grimy as hell. And I would just go with Houston in that. I'm a rock with Ime in that one. The Wolves are weird this year. I have not felt them all season, not even last night in that win at Boston. Okay, their first win at Boston since the KG era in Minnesota back in like 05 or 2006. That was on the Celtics for laying a huge egg, guys. Okay, come on. They took them lightly. No Ant-Man. We already know the whole deal. Ant-Man is injured right now. Nah, I would have the Lakers over the Wolves in a first-round series. So, Doc, we can play a little tennis on this or move on to the next segment. I'll leave it up to you, my friend. But you and I see Lakers and Wolves differently.
I mean, it wasn't even close last year. They kind of embarrassed the Lakers. I think the Lakers had like one good game. Then after that, it's like they adjusted and it was a wrap. I think Jaden McDaniels, having Naz Reid come off the bench, who's a bona fide killer. He's consistent. Having Rudy Gobert defensively, having Ant-Man defensively, Jaden McDaniels, and just the way how hard-nosed Julius Randle plays and his size. Like, you can't bully Julius Randle. So LeBron can't do all of that bully ball because Julius Randle is returning it right back. And so you add that to the mix, and then you have Dante DiVincenzo. I think the only person that gets off is Luka. But I feel like Austin Reeves would have a hard series against the likes of Jaden McDaniels and Anthony Edwards. And so and then even if he gets past those guys, you have Rudy Gobert that's pretty much doing what Wemby does. Even if he doesn't get the block numbers, he's definitely deterring a lot of shot attempts at the basket. And that goes against the consistency of LeBron James. So LeBron James is not as efficient with Rudy Gobert down there. He thinks twice. So the same thing goes for Luka. Luka always has to bring him out to the perimeter to really do his damage. So I just think that I know ultimately the Timberwolves don't match up well with other teams, but I definitely had the Lakers over Houston Rockets. But if it's the Minnesota Timberwolves, I mean, Minnesota made it to the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. That experience has to count for something with that same core group of guys for the most part. So I would give the nod to Minnesota, and they beat them last year, so they had that mental edge.
If I may,
come on in. I was going to say those are all great points, man. I mean, I'm still where I am, but those were all great points. So let's Dwight and then AM, Minnesota versus the Lakers in a first round series. Who you got? Let's get into this.
Again, these are two ifs or key points in a Lakers Timberwolves series. It depends on which DeAndre Ayton shows up. Ayton wasn't there last season. He's been playing. He's been accepting his role the last 2 to 3 weeks. To your point, Rick, ever since he got caught on tape by Dave McMenamin saying they're trying to make him into Clint Capella, I think a word or two has been had with him by the entire organization, and he has conformed. If he can continue to play the way he's playing right now, I like the Lakers over the Timberwolves. Also, LeBron James accepting his role as the power forward and the third wheel on this current roster. He is biding his time for the playoffs. We all know that LeBron James shows up come playoff time. He's also conserving energy while playing great, while being happy in his role. He knows what he has to do. He has turned into a great screen and roll and or pop guy. He can still make a perimeter jump shot. He is rebounding at a very high clip. And if you watch his energy defensively, he has stepped it up. So, Rick, I'm going to respectfully disagree with your take about only one Laker plays D. Maybe Marcus Smart plays D consistently, but I think the Lakers as a group have stepped up in terms of their team defense. They may not be great individual defenders, but they have become a great team defensively. They seem connected. They seem to enjoy playing with each other on both ends of the floor. The chemistry is at an all-time high as we approach the most important part of the season. So, again, I think they will get out of the first round no matter who they play, whether it's Denver, Houston,
Really?
or Minnesota. But again,
Really?
yes, but it depends on which DeAndre Ayton. He, to me, is the key to this whole thing. But getting past San Antonio and Oklahoma City, that's an entirely different conversation. Again, they're third in the West for a reason. This is a very strong Western Conference. So whatever they do lack defensively, they're still great. So let's give them that respect. And they have home court. They had home court last year, obviously, but the team seems different this season. DeAndre Ayton has to come to the table for every game if this team is to be considered a serious contender.
Real quick, right before AM. So you guys said the X factor was DeAndre Ayton, but look at the pickups that Minnesota did as well. Ayo, Desamu, however you say his last name.
Yep.
And then in addition to that, Bones Highland is now in rotation, and you've seen that guy grow when he was playing with the Clippers as well as with the Denver Nuggets. He's like a loose. He can go for 20 any given night. And you have AO as well, plus Naz Reid. So their bench is even stronger. And I just think defensively, they're a better team. They're one of the best teams defensively, I think, when it comes down to a playoff matchup.
Lakers got Luke Kennard.
Fantastic points. Those are all fantastic points.
Yeah. But AO has more diversity to his game. I just feel like AO is
according to who?
He's a two-way.
Based on what?
Just from what I've seen.
Based on what?
Based on what I've seen. I can ask AM because he's a Chicago Bulls expert. But AO
based on what? Whoa. Based on what? What does AO Desamu do great?
I'm a fantasy basketball manager. He's a great two-way player. He's a great hard-nosed defender.
What?
He plays great downhill.
So Chicago keep
and
it?
he could go for 17 to 20 points any given night. And in the playoff series, and you want to win a random game 5 or game 6, he's a player that can do that. He's not scared. He's a tough-nosed player. He's like the Marcus Smart of that team. He's gonna muck it up, and he's gonna surprise you if you're not paying attention to him. But the thing is that they have two of those guys. They also have Dante DiVincenzo. So you have those two guys right there. And then Bones Highland, he's not as physically big or imposing, but his mindset, that's playoff mindsets you need. You need killers. And so I think that will help our part-time killer in Anthony Edwards get over that.
And now he used an hour with that too. Hold on, Doc. Hold on. Are we welcoming you on the Wolves bandwagon? Is that what's happening here? I heard an hour.
It seems like you're off it. You don't think they have a chance.
No. I'm still on it. I'm just a realist. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Dude,
I'm not on the bandwagon. I'm just evaluating the roster, man. They could be LA.
I hear you.
No problem.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. I had a point to make and I completely forget it. So let's go to AM Pfeffer right now.
Great points, guys.
Doc, I got you on one thing here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got you on one thing. I'm going to back you up pretty big time. Dwight, what does Dosunmu do well? And you mentioned DiVincenzo. Their assist-to-turnover ratio is pretty good. Both those guys are at 2.7. That ain't nothing. They take care of the ball, and they do the right things when on their court. I mean, Dosunmu has been a very good addition. He's like 13-4-4 every night. He's doing what he needs to do for the team. I'm with you, guys. Rick, I'm with you about one thing as well. Haven't felt Minnesota all year, but at the same time, I agree. They're going to beat the Lakers. They would beat the Lakers in round 1. Ant-Man at this point has enough playoff experience that he could be close enough to a full-time killer as needed. The way he shows up playoff time, I expect it to be a different guy this time around, and he knows what to expect no matter who he's playing. I don't care. They're going to be a tough out, man. I don't care if that's Denver, that's Houston, that's San Antonio, that's Oklahoma City, and certainly the Lakers, okay? But, I love where this team is at in respect heading into the playoffs with a couple of things. Naz Reid is effectively a top 3-6 man. It's unquestionable. He's probably the number 2 guy, here and there with Jaime Jaquez, right? And I'm sure we're going to talk about Reed Shepherd at some point, but, Naz Reid's the guy. Jaden McDaniels is playing very well, okay? Ant-Man's who Ant-Man is. DiVincenzo's doing what he needs to do. Addition by subtraction, get Dillingham off the team and let Highland cook a little bit more. I like where they're going, but there's really one thing. There's one thing I think about, and we haven't touched on it yet, and that is Julius Randle.
I touched on it.
No, but we haven't touched on this about Julius Randle. Julius Randle was drafted by who?
The Lakers.
7th pick in 2014. Did he get traded for anything ever? Did he get traded? Does anybody remember 4 years later when he left the Lakers?
Was it for LeBron or Lonzo or whatever?
Not a thing. The Lakers renounced the man's rights, and he went and signed with New Orleans before he re-established himself in New York and then made his way to Minnesota. There is forever a chip on a player's shoulder when the team that drafted you 7th renounced your rights. Julius Randle is going to show up for that series. Minnesota over the Lakers.
All right. I remembered the point. And again, Dwight, I respectfully disagree with you. I think the West is pretty severely overrated. I really do. And I think the East is very underrated. The middle of the East is way better than the middle of the West. It's it's not really debatable as I view it. Think about the Western Conference. OKC, San Antonio. Let's the top 4 teams, pardon me. The top 6 teams look good, right? They do. Minnesota's in 6th place at 44-28, 16 games over 500. I mean, they're on pace to win 50 games, quality stuff, right? Phoenix has lost. Well, they lost 5 in a row, then they won their last game, but obviously missing Dylan Brooks. Booker's been missing him. Mark Williams is out right now. So they're in it, but they're, 40-32 in 7th place. All right. I mean, we've enjoyed Phoenix's body of work this year. Does anybody fear them while playing OKC or San Antonio in round 1? I certainly don't. And then you've got the Clippers. Come on, dude. The Clippers are broken. The Portland Trailblazers are 35-37. The Golden State Warriors are a dying team at 33-38. And then you've got the tankers, New Orleans, Memphis, Dallas, Utah, and Sacramento. And clearly the bottom 5 in the East sucks, and they're tanking too. But when you go to the play-in tournament in the East, you got Philly, Orlando, Miami, and Charlotte. Okay? Atlanta just rose above. Toronto could fall into it. All of those teams, am I ready to say they're all better than Phoenix? No, not Philly. All of the other teams I'm ready to say are better than Phoenix, though. Okay? Toronto, Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, and Charlotte. Not Philly, because I don't know who's going to be on the court for Philly, right? Maxi's out for weeks, Embiid never plays, and Paul George never plays. I mean, my God, right? So that's where I'm at. I mean, let's make this kind of brief, but so Dwight, your rebuttal, and then let's go around a little bit. Do you guys agree with me that the West is a little bit overrated?
Well, I did say it last week during one of my rants. I said, if you look at this whole notion that the Eastern Conference is the weaker of the 2 conferences, we can debate that, but the reality is the Eastern Conference has 10 teams over 500. The Western Conference has 7 teams over 500. This speaks to the parity in the NBA. And again, I've said it ad nauseum. We understand that the Oklahoma City Thunder are the favorites to win the championship. But there are 7, 8, maybe 9 franchises that honestly believe if they get the right matchup and get through their conference, they can win the championship. That's just the reality of how they feel. I heard an interesting debate on NBA radio a few days ago. If you look at the roster of the Detroit Pistons and the Toronto Raptors, who has the more talented roster? Not the better team, but if you look at the roster of Detroit, and that includes Cade Cunningham, and the Toronto Raptors, who is more talented? Which team has the more talented roster?
You know, I've been
So
saying
we
it
can
all
debate.
year. Obviously, Toronto.
Right. So yeah, but you say it because of your defense mechanism for the Knicks, you're disqualified. But the reality
Disqualify me
is
because
that
you don't want me to be right.
no. It's because you're afraid of the Detroit Pistons. Anyway,
I
but
know those
my
players.
point is the overall parity, the landscape of the NBA is fantastic. So that's why, again, this whole notion that the Eastern Conference is much weaker, I'll respectfully disagree with that. So to your point, I don't consider the Western Conference the middle part weak. I think they're all very good, but we have to start giving more respect to the Eastern Conference. So I'll agree with your take in that regard, Rick.
Doc, go ahead. West versus East.
No, I was actually looking at the standings, and I came to that conclusion on my own without hearing Dwight's rant again. But I'll say this: like the teams, I think are really good and should be higher if they had their full roster the whole year. You know, Miami Heat. I mean, I think we can count. They haven't even played 10 games together. Tyler Hero and Norman Powell. And just having those two guys on the floor, along with everything they already have going on, I think, and then also Atlanta Hawks. Those are the two teams that I'm excited about. But to your point, Rick, about the Suns and versus Philadelphia, I feel like they're about equal because you don't know who's injured and who's not at this point. I think Maxey will make it back on time. And then that backcourt is always formidable against anybody. And I think in the playoff series, they're only going to be better. But they have a lot of wings, you know, Grimes, and I think PG will be back, and that's only rest that he's had, even, you know, despite the circumstance, it's still rest. And I think ultimately, you know, Paul George is going to be the one, will be an X factor in a playoff series. Whether or not he gets it popping offensively, defensively, you know, he's a great defensive wing. And Joel Embiid just seems to be able to, as long as he's on the floor, he's a factor. So I think Philadelphia is a really good team. I think they are probably a top 6, top 5 team. And, you know, whether, you know, Toronto Raptors, if they fall into the play-in or not, Toronto Raptors are a tough team as well when they have all 3 of their wings with RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, and Scotty Barnes. And Pirtle is back now. And I think the other guys, with the absences of some of their wings, have learned to play in the system and have learned to be dangerous in the minutes that they do have on the floor.
I like it. AM, would you, and just one more quick point here, because I looked at the East standings. In the West, you have 6 tanking teams in the West. Okay, 6. Golden State is tanking, guys. I know they're in the play-in tournament, but that's just math. They're tanking. The Pelicans tanking, kinda. They're kind of playing guys, but we know the mode they're in. Memphis, Dallas, all these teams. But Milwaukee is below the PIT line. They're not tanking. The Giannis thing is just weird, but they're not tanking. They have nothing to tank for. They don't have their pick. Chicago is still playing Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis. Like, they're not tanking, okay? Like, you still have to beat the Bulls. The Nets, the Wizards, and the Pacers are a dumpster fire. Like, they just want the L right now. So there's 6 basically tanking teams in the West. There's basically 3 tanking teams in the East. It's another reason why either the West is overrated, the East is underrated, or I can't say the East is better than the West, guys, because you have OKC and San Antonio atop the West. I think overall, the East is better than the West. But at the top, I think pretty clearly the West is better than the East. So, AM Pfeffer, how would you break this down East versus West right now?
Exactly like you said, at the top, the West is better, but the East is absolutely formidable. I'm not falling into the recency bias trap of what we've all known about the NBA and the Western Conference compared to the, how dare I say the word pitiful the East has been, through the years, but no longer the case, not even close to the case. The parity is absolutely there. And yeah, in a lot of respects, the East is better than the West, 1 through 10. There's no question about it. If you're adding up the sum of all those parts, the synergy is there. The East is phenomenal. There's not one team in the West that is looking over at the East and thinking, yeah, I want to go into Detroit and play them when Cade comes back. Top 3 MVP candidate when he's on the floor. There's not anybody who's thinking, yeah, this is cool going into Boston now that Tatum's back. There's not anybody with, thinking like, let's go into the Garden with the Knicks who know what they've got to do this year and the chip on their shoulder, the way they won the NBA Cup, switch coaches and all the talk about that they're this, they're that, they're soft or whatever. Like the Knicks are absolutely prepared to show up and do what they got to do in the playoffs. And anybody go into any of those teams coming out of the playoff teams, Atlanta winning 11 out of 12, Charlotte, the best net rating team, and still running through everybody and still making this happen. The run hasn't ended there. Everybody in the West is looking over at these guys and thinking like, yeah, don't want to go into Toronto or have Toronto even come to us. Don't want to face the Magic who are back on the upswing. And Franz, by the way, Franz might be back in the next 7 to 10 days. Don't count that out. And Paolo is obviously playing a lot better. Desmond Bane has been a tremendous addition. I mean, look, it goes on and on and on. The East is good. I don't want to hear anything other than the Eastern Conference is good to great. Those teams are great, just like the West. The parity is here. We've talked about how amazing the NBA has been this year and how excited we all are for the playoffs. Anyone still talking about the East falling short of the West doesn't know basketball.
I like it. I like it.
The East play-in tournament is going to be cinema. The West play-in tournament is going to be what it is. I'm not excited. Yeah, exactly. I'm not excited about it at all. You guys know I'm always asleep on the Clippers. I can't stand the Warriors right now. Portland is so boring. And then you got Phoenix, who I like. I mean, I'm not excited about the West PIT. The East PIT is going to be lit. All right, let's get into the NBA's decision to rescind Luka's technical foul. All right. Wait a minute. Is this? Yeah, this is next on the ledger. Okay, so anyway, big story Saturday night against Orlando. Luka and Goga Batadze get into it. Double tech, 16th tech for Luka. We all know that triggers an automatic one-game suspension. That was going to be tonight at Detroit. The league stepped in. They rescinded the technical foul. And I know Dwight Walton's going to love this statistic. Luka Dončić reached 16 technical fouls in 2 previous seasons during his time with the Dallas Mavericks. Both times the league rescinded his 16th tech. Okay, so it is now, Dwight, it is now 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I want to like the sophomore in me wants to remove these 2 and just have that one up. I'm not going to do that to you guys. All right, 3 times. And not that I'm doing that to you guys. It's just me being a sophomoric weirdo. But anyway, 3 times they have rescinded the 16th technical foul for Luka. Every time he's met the threshold, they've said, nah, you're good. You can go back and play. Okay, so that's the setup. Dwight Walton, you first. Was this the right decision for the NBA to rescind Luka's 16th tech?
Based on precedent, I guess it was the right thing to do. You can't say that it was a Laker decision because he did it with the Dallas Mavericks the 2 previous times. So, again, I think the explanation that Goga Batadze gave after the game to where Luka obviously crossed the line while speaking Serbian, and Luka probably forgot that Goga did play in Serbia at one point and learned the language. So the defense mechanism kicked in for Goga, and he said the same thing back in Serbian to what Luka said to him during their trash talk. So, again, did the NBA take that into consideration to where Goga admitting that he crossed the line, but only because Luka did it first? Maybe that helped Luka in this situation. Also, is the NBA very cognizant of trying to keep their stars on the floor? And was this technical foul egregious enough to where, you know what, we have no choice but to follow the rules here and to suspend Luka? I think the NBA thought of this. I think, of course, it worked out for Luka and the Lakers. And if you've noticed what Luka has done ever since he got his 15th technical foul, Luka has turned his whining to the officials to where he's having conversations throughout the entire game with either the players on the other team or with fans in the stands. That's where he's venting his frustration to right now. That's why he's been able to stay at 15 up until this past Saturday night. So again, why did the NBA rescind it? I won't know. Maybe it's because, again, of the explanation that Goga gave in his post-game presser. But I am fascinated by the fact, Rick, because I was going to mention it, but you did, to how each time he's gotten to the 15 technical foul threshold, the 16th technical foul has been managed to be rescinded. I don't understand it. I don't get it. But hey, he's got the basketball gods on his side. They are playing Detroit tonight. We'll see what happens. But Luka skated or skirted the rules for the third time this time.
As they say, skirt, skirt, skirt. Dr. X, you are next, and then AM Pfeffer. Was the NBA right in rescinding Luka's 16th tech?
I'm not mad at it. It sounds like it was a fight in another language, and no harm, no foul. Like, if we don't know what they're talking about, then, it is what it is. But ultimately, I feel like if you look back at, is this a nationally televised game, cuz? Do you know if it is?
No, it's not. San Antonio
yes, I would
tonight.
say. Okay, Cade is not playing, so I don't see what's the beauty of this game of Luka playing. I think it would have probably been better just to hold Luka out, teach him a lesson, and kind of just see what happens with the there's two other stars in the Lakers. I think it would be an even matchup, and I think that so the fact that it's not a nationally televised game, that's probably the only reason why I would agree with them. You got to protect the brand. And with all the tanking going on, all these players missing games, and I would say that's really the only reason why I would agree with the NBA's decision here. But I do have a question: is this what is the rule once the playoffs hit? Doesn't it get reversed back to 5 games?
Yes. Yeah, they cleanse you.
5 techs.
Yeah, something like that. You get a clean slate. Remember, you rack up the points, right? If it's like a flagrant 1, then you get 1, flagrant 2, you get 2. Or maybe that's a different thing. I'm actually confused. But, Doc, what I do know is that they wipe your slate clean and you start new at the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say, I would teach Luka a lesson. Let him miss some games and let that streak die. That's what I think should happen. He shouldn't. The whole point of having these rules is to discourage bad behavior and bad actors. And I think for them to rescind it off a technicality because it was in a different language and it's not even a nationally televised game. Detroit is down Cade Cunningham. I think he should be suspended.
It's kind of just another game without Cade, right? It's not a Peacock game. San Antonio and Miami are the 7:00 Peacock games tonight. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dwight.
No, I just wanted to say it's crazy. You do know that now for Luka. Okay, so he has 15 right now. If he had 16, he'd be allowed to get a 17th. But if he gets an 18th, suspension. He'd be able to get a 19th. But if he gets a 20th, suspension. So he's allowed to get 1 tech after a suspended game. That's how it rules. And then it goes back to 0. And I think it's 7 technical fouls in the playoffs. So Luka knows what he's doing. He stayed at 15 for a while. He understands how valuable he is to the Lakers and to why he channeled his whining down a ton. And I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but he's playing the best stretch of basketball once he got to the 15th technical foul. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but he's been playing great ever since then.
I don't think it's a coincidence because he's focused on putting the ball in the basket and not yelling at referees. I definitely think it's not a coincidence. Just we're seeing what Luka could do if he just focuses on the game you love, not practice. Anyway, little AI thing for you there. AM Pfeffer. I even forget the question right now. Where are we at? Was the NBA right in rescinding Luka's 16th tech?
Let me be unequivocal about this. No. I'm sick of this. Honestly, this is not cool. The man has done this twice before and has techs were rescinded. The message you're sending to the rest of the NBA who aren't Luka Dončić or a superstar is you're second-class citizens. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all. Luka Dončić, guys, I'm just going to say this. As much as I love the guy as a basketball player, he's a putz. All right? He's an absolute putz. He's missed 11 games this year, and there's 11 games left, and he's sitting at 15 techs, and he's had this in his history before, and he complains more than anybody else out there in the league. I don't love him for that, and that's why he's not my MVP candidate, and he's not in my top 4, even though he's clearly moved into the top 2, and he's been so amazing. I love watching the Lakers. I love watching Luka play, but I don't love Luka as a man. He still hasn't grown up. He's still not where he needs to be. 15 techs, and then you're waiting for the league to save you so you don't have the 16th. And by the way, I don't care that Cade's out tonight. This game matters. You're going into Detroit. Okay? Every game matters from here on out. You're trying to be the 3 seed because if you do want to make any noise in the playoffs, you better have some home court advantage to get through the second and third rounds, especially if you're the Lake Show. Because, yes, it matters when you're playing in Crypto Arena or whatever the hell we're calling it these days. It definitely matters. People coming to LA. The eyes are bright from all the other teams who have to travel out west and play the Lakers. This whole thing stinks to me. It stinks at Luka's level, and it definitely stinks from the NBA. You hear me? I'm ranting at this point, Rick. You hear what I'm saying here. This is a big F no rescinding. This again, the fact that this has happened before. This is ridiculous. Bad message sent. My man should be sitting down.
I agree with AM. I agree with AM.
Adam Silver, do you see what you've done? Adam, this is your fault. Adam, you almost got A.M. Pfeffer, one of the classiest guys in L.A., to say the F word. I'm beyond the surface. That's your fault, Adam Silver. By the way, part of my rant.
Rick, can I ask? I want to ask you guys a question. So we have this 16 technical foul threshold before a suspension for the NBA. Do we know why this rule was put in place?
Rasheed Wallace.
Draymond Green.
Green. Rick,
it's the Rasheed
is
Wallace
correct.
rule.
So Rick.
Oh, Rasheed.
What was, as a result of this 16 technical foul rule, how many technical fouls did Rasheed Wallace get in that season? This is for the whole panel. How many T's did Rasheed Wallace get that season? I'll give a guess.
I'm going to say 15.
Phil?
17.
And I say 15.
Rasheed Wallace got 41 technical fouls one season. And that's when the late, great David Stern said, enough is enough. 41 technical fouls. That's ridiculous.
Ball don't lie.
Great trivia. Dwight, I love this. This is great trivia,
That's
man.
insane.
Good depth.
That's insane.
That's awesome.
In 1 year.
41.
That's insane, man. I love me some Sheed, though, man. Remember, remember they created a rule you can't throw your fist at a referee anymore. Again, the Rasheed Wallace rule, because that's always throwing fists, not like trying to punch him, right, but just like mad and like just out of anger and
showing
stuff like that. All right,
showing him up. Yep.
So I am not ball don't lie. So I am not going to huge fan of Rasheed Wallace. By the way, every single teammate Rasheed Wallace ever had would like go to battle, would battle to the death with Rasheed Wallace. Every single one of his teammates. I've never met one of his teammates that didn't freaking love Rasheed Wallace. Not one. Just saying. So I'm not going to say F no. I'm going to say hell no. No, the NBA was not right to rescind Luka's 16th tech. This is more pillowy, soft punishment handed down by Adam Silver, who needs to man up. Yo, man, Adam, send a doctor to Memphis for Ja Morant. Send a doctor to Dallas for Kyrie Irving. Send a doctor to Washington for Trae Young and Anthony Davis. Send a doctor to Brooklyn for Michael Porter Jr. Send a doctor to Utah for their whole team. Adam, you are. I gotta calm down with Adam. Sick. I'm gonna lose my voice. Adam is back. Adam is back to losing the war on tanking. Remember for that minute he was kind of winning. He's not winning anymore. They're back to kicking Adam's ass and laughing at him and calling his bluff, and he ain't doing a damn thing. And I know I'm getting off the topic here. I'm going to bring it back. Follow me here. Many of the NBA teams right now are summer league teams. They're not even G League teams. They're summer league teams, bro, in NBA uniforms and NBA arenas. It's gross. It's unacceptable. It's ruining our league. But that's the way Adam likes it, because Adam is soft. He is. Been saying it all year. He's soft. Way too soft. He does not need to be, a stern tatership like David Stern. He does not need to go back to that and the heavy hand, the sledgehammer, and all that stuff. It's not what I'm asking for. This is ridiculous. This is bad parenting, okay? The NBA is a joke for rescinding this technical foul. The league office is a joke. Oh, we're supposed to respect and look up to the league office. They know what's best for the league, blah, blah, blah. Business-wise, they certainly do. Business-wise, oh, yeah, they do. Rules-wise, flow of game, they make so many mistakes. You guys, I want you to know something. There are executives with the NBA. Ra's calling in now, so let me complete my point and get back on track here. Luka says Goga started it. I don't believe that. Luka talks shit to everyone all the time. Luka is all of a sudden a victim of trash talking? Are you kidding me? Does anybody believe this? He talks trash to 5-year-olds in the stands. Come on, man. Double text was the right call here, but because the league wants, and it's not even a peacock game, so I'm not even going to go to that angle. This is just another game in Detroit. But this soft-ass, terrible parenting is doing nothing but enabling Luka to keep being the biggest baby and the biggest complainer and the biggest whiner in the history of the sport. The biggest in the history of our sport, okay? Guys, I can tell you something right now. Nobody's ever complained to the referees as consistently and as annoyingly as Luka in the history of the league. Dolph Shays was not screaming for a foul every time he missed a damn shot back in 1955. I promise you that, okay? And one more point here before we bring on the great Ra Libo. Draymond Green is probably really pissed off right now, and he's got a right to be. Draymond Green is a repeat offender, and the NBA holds it against him, right? Luka Dončić is a repeat offender, and the NBA doesn't hold that against him. Makes you think a little bit, doesn't? And I know Luka's not choking out guys on the court and stomping their chests below the surface of the earth. Okay, I get that, but still, it's not consistent. It's not consistent. It's flimsy, and we are working on getting Raw up here right now. But yeah, Luka's the biggest whiner in the history of the league, guys. The bottom line is, this is bad parenting. All you're doing is enabling Luka to do more of the same. All this is bad parenting by Adam Silver. And he may be the best dad in the world. I don't even know if he has kids. Don't even know that. Don't frankly care. If he's got kids, God bless him. But yeah, that's what I got to say. So we're working out a connection here with Ra. Guys, Ra was the lead actor in the first film that I was in last year. And great guy, and I can't wait to bring him on here. But any comments on what I just said there as I sneeze with the mute?
No. Listen, Rick, I agree. Like I said, I agree with AM's take as well. And listen, again, no bones about it. I'm a Lakers fan, but rules are rules. And he was given a technical foul. And unless, again, you've got video evidence, you can review all things for protocol. I get it. But in this case, I'm fascinated at the fact that Luka has gotten to 15 twice before this, and they were both rescinded. Why all of a sudden, Luka, you get to 16 and you take it away? I think it was a justified technical foul. It's pretty clear that he crossed the line, albeit in Serbian, with what he said to Goga Batadze. The referee squashed it, justifiably so, because Goga went right back at Luka. Luka didn't like it. It's funny how the bully doesn't like to get bullied. Luka said it right to him. And then Goga goes right back at him with the same thing, all of a sudden Luka's going to the referee saying this and that. I feel disrespected. Luka, you disrespected him first. So I don't blame him for coming back. Now, I wouldn't talk about somebody's mama because anybody who knows me, my mother and I were very close. And if you disrespect my mama, I'm throwing hands. No question about it. So I get it. I understand. But for the league to rescind this technical foul, I could care less if they were playing Detroit or Sacramento. Rules are rules. You got to sit him out. You got to make sure he feels it. Make sure the Lakers feel this. If they lose their losing streak because of it, I don't care. Rules are rules. Luka should have been suspended for tonight's game against the Pistons.
Any closing thoughts here, guys? Jason and Kai are working on getting Ra, and we're having difficulties, and we apologize for
100%
that.
agree. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing we said before. But yeah, I agree.
All right, so
think you're... Go ahead.
No, pardon me, Doc. I thought you were done there. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I'm thinking you're struggling because winning that championship took a hit to your immune system. All the stress,
I know.
drops and ads.
No, I know
exactly.
You need everything.
Well, no, I know exactly. I know exactly when and where I got sick and from who, and I'm pissed off. I am. Stay home. Stay home. When you are ill and hacking up a lung, don't go out on Friday night. Take the night off, dude. So I saw a guy I hadn't seen in a while, and gave him the little bro hug, and I'm like, yo, dude, you okay? He goes, oh yeah, I'm fine. Lies. Just like all these ball players stuff. So yeah, I'm like, when you don't, I'd rather not know how I got sick, right? Because I know now I have now I can get mad. I don't want to get mad at somebody, right? I just want to be, I don't know how I got sick. I'm sick right now. But now but again, I talk about manning up, right? I'm manning up right now, but I'm at home. I'm infecting a grand total of nobody, okay? I'm infecting my laptop right now. And guess what? It's not human. It can't get sick. Well, it can get sick, but not from my germs or this other dude's germs. Anyway, I digress. So let's see if we can bring Ra Libo on right now. Now they're telling me to scratch it. All right, so let's move on to our next topic, and if we can work out Ra Libo, we will get him on. Is Luka the best closer in Lakers history? I'm going to read that again because I don't know if you guys have seen the rundown or what James Worthy said, but as I and especially for our audience, but as I ask that question. Is Luka the best closer in Lakers history? I know a lot of you are like, Kamla, I know you're not okay because you're sick, okay? But did you mix some, maybe some vodka with your cold medicine? Where's your head at right now? How are you doing, Kamla? And I'm fine, okay? Other than this dang cold, I am absolutely fine. James Worthy said, and I quote, Lakers Daily Com put this out. Worthy doesn't think the Lakers have ever had a closer as dominant as Luka. And the great James Worthy said, and I quote, I don't think we've seen a closer as consistent and dominant as Luka Dončić. I'm going to go first here, guys. Sneezing, coughing, blowing my nose, the whole thing. It is what it is. And I apologize for all that, but I kind of don't. It is what it is. This is the worst take of James Worthy's career. I want you guys to know, and I'm just going to check up and put a bunch of love into James Worthy right now. I love Big Game James. Big Game James gave me one of the best compliments in my life, and I won't go into it now, but we've been friendly and I love Big Game James. I used to have his poster on my wall. It had the white outline, and it was just him going up for a jump shot, left hand separated from the right hand, going up a little one-hander. Dope poster on my wall back in the day. One of my favorite players of all time. You guys know I grew up a Showtime Laker fan. Let me take you into Big Game James' game here real quick. And you young fellas and young ladies, go look at this. I don't think anybody in the history of basketball had a quicker drop step to the baseline out of a back to the basket post up than James Worthy. It was lightning. Okay.
Agreed.
It was lightning. All right. It was unbelievable. And it was either way, by the way. And then he had the Statue of Liberty dunk finish from Magic Johnson on a fast break that's just stupidly iconic. Okay. He's an iconic player, a terrific analyst. And I really like him because he will go in on the Lakers when they deserve it, right? Okay, so all that said, this take sucks. Magic and Kareem. Okay, let's count it out. Magic, better closer than Luka. Kareem, better closer than Luka. Sorry, I'm not flipping anybody off here. Kobe, better closer than Luka. Shaq, better closer than Luka. At this time, they're champions. Duh. Many times over. How can Luka be a better close? How can thank you, Dwight.
Jerry West.
West is on the list too. Great call, Dwight. Great call. Great freaking call. So that's 5 Lakers in the history of the franchise. Better than Luka as a closer. He has not even come close to winning an NBA title. And I know you're like, what are you talking about? He was in the finals. Dude, he got played under the wood by Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown took his lunch and his dinner and his breakfast and his girl, okay? That wasn't even close. Luka makes amazing clutch shots. He's one of the best clutch shooters I've ever seen. Already, I'm ready to say that. But that doesn't make him the best closer in Lakers history. Bro, win a ring. Win a ring. It's like,
even Elgin Baylor, too.
You could put Elgin Baylor on there. Maybe it's 6, Doc. Maybe it's 6.
LeBron.
Okay.
LeBron.
Did I not say LeBron? If I didn't say
didn't.
LeBron, I meant to say LeBron. He was on my list. I think I might have forgotten LeBron. So it's 7. It's Baylor. It's West.
You didn't forget. That was AD.
But anyway, I forgot to mention LeBron. To me, LeBron, and that could be a debate within the debate. Who's a better closer, LeBron or Luka? All I know is LeBron's got 4 of them things. 4 of them things. Luka's got none. The only thing that Luka closes out, guys, is nightclubs in Slovenia in the offseason. That's the only thing he closes out in a couple of regular season games and a playoff game against the LA Clippers. Do we have Ra Libo? Can we bring him on? Or should we just keep going here? Well, let's keep going here. All right. I want to go to Dr. X here next. Dr. X, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready to say that Luka is the best closer in Lakers history? Break it down, and we mentioned, all the other great Lakers closers. Yeah. The floor is yours. Sure.
Well, first off, we got to give Luka credit because Luka is clutch. Luka is a killer, and we've seen him do it many times over in playoff series, and he got to the finals. I think that Luka is a great closer. I think he's also probably more clutch than LeBron James is. In Lakers history, I don't think he has enough body of work to say he's more clutch than LeBron James because he hasn't won anything yet. So Correct. I think that's where it's unfair. However, Luka is still that guy. Luka is a closer and is probably one of the most clutch players in the NBA. But when you're talking about history, it's kind of hard to make that point when you have all those greats that you just named that also have rings to back it up. So, but to be fair to Luka, Luka is a closer. I see where James Worthy was going. I just think he put it in the wrong context. So, James Worthy, you just got to be better with contextualizing your point, but and then still give Luka his flowers. That's where I think that's how it should have went down.
All right, AM, you next, man. Well, let's keep it out in LA right now.
Yeah, Doc, that's a great point about contextualizing. In terms of like Luka himself, yeah, phenomenal closer, full-time killer, all those great things. He has it. He has all of it. But as far as like, quote unquote, the Lakers are concerned, no. I mean, the guy hasn't even been here 2 full years. And Dwight, thank you so much for bringing up Jerry West. For those watching who don't really know Jerry West's history, my man was 4-time runner-up to NBA MVP. Like, he never won the MVP, but he did win it twice in the finals in 72 when they actually won the finals. Oh, and by the way, the only guy ever in the history of NBA basketball to win the finals MVP on the losing team. That happened in 69. Like, Jerry West and Kobe. Stop. Come on. but Luka's awesome, and maybe one day we'll say the same about him if he can bring 3 chips home over the next 8 years. But for now, James, you kind of missed on this one.
Dwight?
Here's the deal, Rick. Do we know when James Worthy made this statement? Was it on the night the Lakers, Luka Dončić's shot beat the Denver Nuggets? If that's when the statement was made, I think James Worthy made an emotional statement. He got caught up in the moment when he said it. Again, there's context to this. I don't know when he made the statement, so I'm going to say that right now. But if he made the statement on Spectrum Sportsnet, which I watch all the Lakers pre-game and post-game stuff. James Worthy says some pretty outlandish stuff. And yes, James Worthy goes in on the Lakers, but he goes in especially on the Lakers when they give a piss-poor performance against the hated Boston Celtics. That's the night he went in. All the Lakers hate it when they lose to the Celtics, and I think he had some extra juice that night when they played so poorly. Also was a home game that night. So again, it depends on when James Worthy made the statement, because James Worthy, under normal circumstances, can in no way, shape, or form say that under a clear conscience that Luka Dončić is a better closer in Lakers history than Jerry West, Kobe Bryant, even throw Robert Horry in there for all the shots that he's made. LeBron James, all these guys, Shaquille O'Neal, all those guys that we're talking about, there's no way you can say that. Yes, he's a great closer in general, but in Lakers history, Luka hasn't done anything yet in a playoff situation, in the most pressurized situations, to be even considered in this conversation. So I'll repeat it again. It depends on when James made the statement. If it was after Luka's game-winning shot against the Nuggets, I understand it in that context. But if he's saying it in general, I can't believe he, of all people, especially being a teammate of Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in answering that question, there's no way I can understand him saying that. Not a chance in hell. Nope.
All right, fellas. I like the points, man. I do. So we had Kevin Durant pass Michael Jordan on the scoring list. This happened on Saturday when Ahmed Thompson put in KD's miss for the win against the Heat. And Kevin Durant passed Michael Jordan on the scoring list that night. And he said after the game with a smile, 4 more to go. I like your style, KD. I like your style. The Grim Reaper, come in for your money. Here's the question. Because as I mentioned earlier in the show, LeBron James passed Robert Parrish for most games played. What is more impressive? LeBron passing the Chief, Robert Parrish, for most games played in NBA history, regular season, not these bullcrap merged regular season and postseason statistics that I hate so very, very much. No, this is a regular season statistic, okay? Hey, all you stat heads out there, come a little closer. I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to hit you. Just come a little closer. I'm not going to yell either. I'm losing my voice. We have regular season statistics. Okay? Are you with me so far? And then we have postseason statistics. And they're separate. They're not the same thing. There's only 16 teams in the playoffs. There's 30 teams overall. So why would you merge the Anyway, I said I wasn't going to yell at you, so I'm not going to. I don't want to be a liar or a flip-flopper. All right. All my posturing and shticking aside, what is more impressive? Dwight Walton, I'm coming to you first. What is more impressive? LeBron passing Robert Parrish for most games all time, or Kevin Durant passing Michael Jordan to get to 5th on the scoring list?
As much as I love LeBron James's longevity, I'm going to say, I'm going to echo what Kevin Durant said. You could talk about LeBron. You could talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You could talk about Karl Malone. You could talk about Kobe Bryant. But there's something special about passing Michael Jordan in any statistic. There's just it's his aura, it's his presence, it's his meaning to the game, it's what he's brought to the table as an ambassador to the game. At the end of the day, man, and the thing is, the same way people thought Kobe Bryant had the most points in an NBA game, and some people just totally discount what Wilt Chamberlain did. If you talk to a certain demographic of a fan base or the fans out there, they'll think that Michael Jordan was the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. So I just think because of the aura that Michael Jordan has. And again, much respect to the longevity of LeBron James, and he's still going strong. I think he's got 2 or 3 more seasons in him, especially if he continues to play this certain role that he is with the Lakers. And you have to respect what he has accomplished. But the mere fact that you're passing Michael Jordan in a statistic, there's something very, very special about that. So I'm going to echo what Kevin Durant said after he passed Michael Jordan.
You're on mute.
We take it out to we take it out to LA right now, and we've got Dr. X first, and then AM on the. So what's more impressive to you, Doc? You first. LBJ passing Robert Parrish or Kevin Durant passing Michael Jordan?
Well, if you can give me some more context on exactly how many years it took for KD to do it, how many seasons versus how many seasons Jordan played.
19 to 15.
So Jordan did it in 15 years, right? And then KD
Yes.
did it in 19 seasons, but he also missed season, but so did Jordan technically. Yeah, it's impressive, as you said, Dwight, because of the aura that Michael Jordan has. But to me, when you add 4 extra years, it was inevitable that it was supposed to happen. Why didn't it happen long ago? That it'd be more impressive to me if KD did it in 15 years, the same amount of time, or maybe just a year after. But it took him 4 extra years to do it. I still like that stat for KD, and it makes sense. And but ultimately, I like that where Jordan is placed in history and the amount of years that he played in the NBA, that he left on his own terms, and he left like about a solid NBA career with 16 years or 15, whatever you guys just recently said. But I think that's the difference here. Robert Parrish, the whole Robert Parrish thing, how many years? It's how many games, right? Do you guys know how many years Robert Parrish played? Was it 20? 21. And how many seasons did LBJ play? 2022 or where are we at?
He's at 23 right now.
23, right? The Jordan year. Yeah, so I mean, it took him like 2 extra seasons to do that. I mean, personally, I really don't care about totals. They're nice. But ultimately, I think the Jordan one is more impressive because it's Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And so that's why I would give the nod to KD. And the same thing KD said, you acknowledge it, but you move on and say, all right, there's 5 more, I got to go. So also like that mentality of KD. And Rick, do you know who's left to take out on that list?
Yeah.
For KD?
Oh, man, I got it.
Is it LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone?
Yes.
Kobe?
And Kobe.
Okay.
Yep. Those are the 4 guys.
I believe he's got 1,400 more to catch Kobe.
He'll do it. Yeah, just keep on playing, man. That's all you got to do.
You know what? Phil, let me ask you this question. For as much as we know Kevin Durant loves to play basketball, do you think he'll play I'll ask this for the whole panel, do you think he'll play as long as LeBron is currently?
Yeah, I think so, because he loves the hoop,
agree.
number one,
Yep.
and the type of first off, he has a great example in LeBron James, who's his contemporary or his his counterpart that everybody compares him to. So I think if he can still play, he will likely play, and I'm sure he'll get a contract. And the fact that how efficient he scores and how he scores, I could see KD playing till he's 48 if he needed to. Just to beat LeBron's record. So I think KD's kind of waiting for LeBron to retire, and then he's gonna be like, all right, I'm about to break all his records right now. Let's go.
Guys, I'm sorry, I'm confused. I'm trying to work out these guests. So where are we kind of at here? Who's gone? I think we owe AM Pfeffer a little shine here on this one, right? So AM, what's more impressive, LBJ passing Parrish or Kevin Durant passing Michael Jordan?
I mean, Doc, what did you say?
I ultimately said KD passing Jordan because of the aura. I agree with Dwight. The aura of Jordan just sounds cool when you're telling people about your latest accomplishment.
All right. I'm sure AM Pfeffer is going to be on an island here, but to me, not only is it more impressive what LeBron did, I think it's wildly more impressive. I really do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's cool what KD did in passing Jordan. It's Jordan's name. And I love KD. He's 7th on my top 10 list of all time. We know that. And I got many reasons why. And I can't wait to see him try and take on those last 4 guys, though he ain't never going to catch LeBron. But I'd like to see him take on the next 2 or 3. That's for sure. But I'm the same guy, and we don't have to go back to this argument, I promise, who wasn't exactly as impressed by Bam Adebayo's 83 as everybody else. So we're not going to go there. But points to me is one thing. Guys, LeBron playing as long as the longevity to me is incredible. Okay, these are the statistics. These are the records that are just unbelievable. Because I'll put it in perspective. You got to think about it's one thing to say, oh, hey, you played more than Robert Parrish, the Chief. A lot of people don't even know who Robert Parrish is, but everybody knows who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is because he's 3rd on the list, right? And we all know how long Lou Alcindor played the game. And 4th on the list is Vince Carter, okay? Because he played the game 78 seasons. Vince just was there forever. So LeBron doing what he's doing and potentially playing for many more years to come and breaking every other record. It's insane that the dude's 41 years old and keeps his body in the shape that he is and played as many games as he has and plays as hard as he has and still dunks the ball and is diving for balls right now. Again, it's awesome that the Slim Reaper is an amazing scorer, but it was inevitable at some point that he was just going to pass Michael Jordan. It wasn't inevitable to ever pass Robert Parrish or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. LeBron James is doing it. Again, you look at other sports and where this is at. Cal Ripken, guys, his streak of most consecutive games played, beyond.
It's
beyond.
much wide mark. Yes,
realize how incredible it is to play the 2,600 that he did. Because who's next on that list? Lou Gehrig at 2,100, and who he beat. These are the statistics to me that matter. I think it's immensely impressive. LeBron James is 41 years old, has kept his body in the shape that he has spent $1 million a year to do it, and keeps going out there and putting up the statistics that he does. No disrespect to KD, certainly no disrespect to Michael Jordan, and no disrespect to anybody who loves the record of points. But I don't know. It's just how I feel about these things. These records are very, very, very difficult to ever reach, and LeBron is breaking all of them. I'm impressed.
Have you guys noticed that he wears a patch on his uniform commemorating his feat of playing more games than Robert Parrish? It's on his uniform.
Didn't notice that. I think that's cool, though.
Yeah, I saw it on Riot Comedy.
Yes, right.
I hope that's not your source.
Right. Yeah, that would not be a good source of comedy. It is, and sometimes brutal comedy that I don't mess with. But they have a lot of cool stuff on there as well. All right, I'll give you my
and Rick, Rick, if I may, I just wanted to say one last thing. I didn't bringing up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and mentioning the name Lou Alcindor. I only said that not because again I refer to him as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's what the man wants to be called. I want to be clear about that. It's just how long he played that at some point was known as Lou Alcindor. It goes back forever. That's the only reason I brought up that name, just to be clear. So,
oh, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah.
So all right. So I'll give you
no disrespect to Kareem.
Of course not. For me, Kevin Durant passing Michael Jordan, and AM, you say that was an inevitability. To me, LeBron passing the Chief for the most games played ever was an inevitability as well. First of all, look at who did you pass? Kevin Durant passed the GOAT in scoring. Think about that for a minute.
Because I can hear Rick.
The greatest player of all time. LeBron passed the Chief. Hall of Famer, borderline top 10 center of all time in games played. So to me, that's a bit of a womp womp. Total games played is cool, but it's a counting number that doesn't register highly with me. And you guys know I'm huge on numbers and history and all this stuff. Longest career registers with me. Okay. So like when you pass Vince for the most years ever played in the NBA, okay, that's the record. That they're really, every other record just kind of is automatically going to come along with that. So you're also going to play the most games. Remember when LeBron played the most minutes in NBA history? That was a big deal. I rolled that. When he racked up the most field goals in league history to the patch that Dwight is talking about, I'm not really concerned with that. It's not one of the major statistics. Those stats come along with the longevity, okay? So I'm not really impressed by that. Past Kareem, I'm super impressed by that. Back to Kevin Durant. It's not just that he passed the GOAT and what the GOAT did best. Let that sink in for a minute. What was Michael Jordan's best ability? Put the ball in the hole. Kevin Durant just went past him, okay? It's the fact that Kevin Durant is now 5th on the all-time scoring list, trailing LeBron at 43,241, Kareem 38,387, a mark that stood forever, Karl at 36,928, Kobe at 33,643, and Durant currently at 32,294. I can safely guarantee you that Kevin Durant will pass Kobe Bryant next season. I can safely speculate that Durant will pass Malone in a couple of years. There's no way that Kevin Durant catches LeBron James. I think LeBron went John Stockton on the scoring number because nobody is ever going to catch John Stockton in assists and steals. Look it up or just take my word for it. Nobody's ever catching Stockton in those statistics. And I don't think anybody's ever going to catch LeBron at, what is he going to end up with? 45,000 points, 46,000 points. Guys, if a player scores 25,000 points, it is a monstrously huge deal. LeBron is maybe almost going to double that up. It doesn't make sense, okay? Like you think of Cy Young, the pitcher back in the day in the early 1900s, 511 wins, okay? The pitchers of today just laugh at that. There's no way anybody's ever going to touch that, especially with all the arm trouble that these guys are having. And yes, that completely sucks. Okay, so do we have Mark and Marlin on the line? Can we bring them in? Because we haven't been able to work it out here with Ra, but which is very, very unfortunate. I've been communicating with Ra a little bit, and he said, we can do it another time. Not sure what the issues were, but that's above my pay grade. So Mark Brownstein is the bassist, and Marlin B. Lewis is the drummer in the Disco Biscuits, my favorite band. I've been seeing them for a long, long time, and there they are together. Brownie and Marlin. Marlin, I got to introduce myself, man. Marlin, Rick Kamla, one of the biggest Disco Biscuits fans on planet Earth. Me and Brownie go way back like 20 years, man. Marlin, it is great to meet you, and congratulations on this phenomenal gig, man.
Man, great to meet you as well, and thank you. It's been a pleasure being a part of these guys, so far. It's been a fun time.
So, Brownie, can you not spell, but pronounce the name of the music festival that you guys were just at here in Florida playing a couple of sets? Okeechobee? What? How do you say it, Brownie?
It's called Okeechobee Festival. And I guess
how'd that go for you guys?
Lake Okeechobee is it was amazing. We played 2 nights there. The first night we played unopposed right before Cage the Elephant, and it was side-by-side stages. It was amazing. Second night we did Tractor Beam. It was off in a tent, and it was phenomenal. I mean, we're coming off of, playing only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shows in 3 months, right? And so when you get on and it's just pure fire like that right from the get-go, good feeling.
That's incredible, man. That's incredible. All right, so I'm going to introduce you to the panel here, and we're going to do a roundtable thing with you guys. I got a couple questions up first. I've got to know, and Brownie, thanks for the hookup over the years. I wanted to tell you that, like all the passes, all the lists, like It means a lot, dude. It really, really does. And obviously, you know, the love and affinity I have for you, the band, my favorite band of all. So this relationship is a real blessing to me, brother. And I wanted you to know that. So how has you got it, man. How has the infusion of Marlin gone? Can you kind of take us into that musical process? Because Marlin, I was at the Boston shows 29, 30, 31 through Brownie, and you were, you know, pretty new at that time. And I'm not even sure how many months you've been with him, Marlin, but I would love Brownie first and then Marlin. Just talk about, you know, joining the new band, the challenges, the wins, the losses, all that stuff.
Yeah, well, the biggest challenge is that we're dealing with over 200 original songs and probably another 200 cover songs that are going to be in the rotation, the catalog at some point when Marlin knows it all. So when you're coming in cold like that, it's a daunting task. But in terms of chemistry, Marlin and I have been playing together for 10 years. We started 10 years ago in our side project, Star Kitchen. And so I knew that the chemistry was there. I knew that the band was going to be great with him. I just knew that. There was never even a discussion, actually, Rick, before. There wasn't a discussion with the band about who was going to be the drummer when we knew that we needed a new drummer. It was just assumed. Eventually there was like a phone call and it was just like, so Marlin, right? And so we just knew that the chemistry was there. Look, he's kind of a savant when it comes to learning songs. He's doing it. He memorizes everything, which is really, really impressive. There's no charts. Every single day people ask me, like, how is he able to know 100 songs in such a short amount of time? And you know, that's the job. The job is knowing the songs. The integration has been amazing for me, you know, because there's kind of the first era of Disco Biscuits when Sammy was the drummer and that kind of swing feel that came with that. And then there's the second era with Alan and the more robotic kind of techno-y feel. And Marlin's able to seamlessly move between the two of those vibes. And it's really, really great to kind of reclaim some of the old songs in their like original feel. And so for me, this has been just a dream playing with him.
And I can probably say the same. Right? You know, not even probably. It's like one of those things. To piggyback off what he was saying, to learn a lot of songs in such a short time. Coming on at first, I was like, all right, a lot of information, guys. Like, give me a second. And then, like, as I started understanding why they did things the way they did it or how the songs flowed, it just kind of made every song become a little easier to learn because now it's like, oh, okay, I understand they're going here to this change or possibly to this change or they're feeling this way or feeling that way, you know. Oh, okay, I hear Barbara playing these notes this way. I'm understanding why Brownie's playing this way. So when you start to now understand the players themselves and why they mesh the way they do, it made it like so much easier to integrate myself and understand when to be the Sammy-esque like player or to be the Allen like player or to be myself.
Right.
Yeah, and music is a language, you know. So it's like coming into the Disco Biscuits, it's like a different language than, you know, it's a different dialect than, you know, Marlin's been speaking in his previous bands. And so it's kind of like getting dropped into a foreign country with a foreign language and you immerse yourself and 5 months later you find yourself fluent, you know, and that's what we've experienced, you know, over the last couple months where it's like we get on stage now and I just can tell Marlin knows where we're going with it because he's speaking the language.
It's incredible. It's so fun to listen to elite musicians talk about coming together, the infusion of different styles. I'm enjoying the heck out of this. So let's bring in the panel here. Let's talk some basketball. And to our audience out there, X-Rated Sports Network, our show is Beyond the Surface. Y'all know we're a hoop show. These guys are big-time hoop heads, in addition to being world-famous elite musicians. So lower left here, Brownie and Marlin, is Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend. He played with the Canadian national team, played overseas a bunch of years. He was on the Canadian team in the Olympics in 1988. In our LA studios, which are beautiful and fantastic. We have Dr. X. He's on the right wearing the Yukon hoodie. He's our founder. He's our creator, our patriarch. He's a sports medicine radiologist, one of the best in America. He owns a team in the TBT. I could go on and on and on. He's the mayor of LA. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff going on with Dr. X. And he's a huge Knicks fan, okay? And I want to underscore huge. And then we have A.M. Pfeffer. He's kind of a Knicks fan. He is a businessman. He's an author. He's a sports analyst. And so we are beyond the surface. Now, Dwight Walton, I know you had a question for Marlin, so hit him.
Marlin, Mark, thank you for gracing us with your presence on our show. It's greatly appreciative. Marlin, it has been brought to my attention that you either know, you've met, you're an acquaintance of Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is very special, very special to us here in Canada. Head coach of the Toronto Raptors in 2019 when they won the NBA championship. He coached our Canadian national program for several summers. I know Nick a little bit. Nick is behind the scenes. Nick is a cool cat on the floor. He's fiery, he's brash, he's in your face. But talk to me about your relationship with Nick. Nick is cool with me. I think he's just mad cool overall. Talk about your relationship with Nick Nurse, please.
Man, Nick Nurse is probably one of the most down-to-earth, coolest people I've probably ever met in my life.
100%. Yep.
He has like such a affinity for music, and a lot of people don't really get to know that. You don't get to see or experience that because his job obviously is on TV, coaching, being around the players, doing that job of just being a leader of men. So you don't never really get to see the chance. Just like for instance, you have some players in the league that might be good singers or good musicians or doing other things, and it's like, dude, I never knew you even did that. Yeah, it's like you never know they did that. Well, I got lucky enough to work with the Sixers G League team, the Bluecoats. So nice. I would have like the little house band go and like play shows or like a mini concert before the game started, and then we would do like a 5-minute set during halftime. So the second time I believe we were there, Nick was coming in with Sixers have like one of their head security guys that also is with the team all the time. His name is Rudy. So Nick and Rudy were coming in, and somehow my manager, this guy named Scott Granoff, great dude, super great dude. He's a huge music fan as well. He was managing the band. He saw Nick coming. He said, man, I heard Nick is a huge fan of Prince. He's like, guys, you should do a Prince song right now. And I was like, I don't want to do a Prince song. Now you see how deep my voice is. You hear how high Kiss is. Kiss is a really high song. 5 seconds. Don't have to be beautiful. So I did that. Obviously, they made me do this, live in front of people. I'm playing the drums and singing at the same time. Nick comes in. Nick's like, yo, you guys are great. Like, this is great. So somehow soon after, he asked me and a couple friends to meet him at his house for what was like a little jam session between me, this group named the Arkells, and another band called the Mount Joy. So we're all there. We're jamming. Everybody's like, hey, we're having a good time. This guy Marlin's pretty good. We're all singing songs, playing. It's like a little music powwow. We're just all hanging out. And then Nick's like, hey, I'm doing a golf event like for my foundation. He has a Nick Nurse Golf Foundation that he does in Iowa, where he's from. So he has us come out there. I fly out there and do an event with them the first year, which was like a phenomenal success. It was like pieces of each band that all came together, and we did like this one big, huge band. Probably did about 15 to 20 songs. We did really well. Nick, I was actually surprised, but Nick had enough faith in me and thought I was good enough to now put my own band together. And he brought me and my band now back to the same event the next year. And we did some like Prince and Stevie covers, which we ended up calling ourselves as a band. We called ourselves Purple Wonder. Nice. So we did that event. That was great. And then pretty much ever since, I've been like really, really close friends with Nick.
Nice, badass.
Nice.
Marlin? Is he a guitarist? Is he a musician? Does he like mess around with music, or would he call himself a musician?
Yes. Oh yes, Nick can sing a little bit. Nick can play piano. He can play guitar a little bit. He mostly plays piano. Like when we're there, he'll come in. Like when we did the event the first year, he played piano with the band. The second year, I had him play piano with the band. 'Cause every time he tries to shy away, he's like, "Oh no, you guys got it." I'm like, Here's a keyboard over here set up for you. Come on, man. Come on, hang out.
Marlon, can I say something real quick? You just mentioned a band that's actually very true to my heart. So my 10-year anniversary with my wife is coming up in just a few months this May. And back then we put like a set list together as we were ramping up to get married. The Arkells are on that list, like the short list of the song "Where You Going," which is tremendous. Like if people don't know the Arkells, man, they are awesome, right? And like the fact that you just brought up the name and you jam with them, that is awesome. I love that. I had to throw that out.
No, they're really, really phenomenal. It's surprisingly like one of them things where you get around, obviously phenomenal people like this. Sometimes people assume that like as musicians or as artists, we do this thing, on huge stages that we're like not nice people, right? A lot of the biggest artists are actually like just real down to earth people, and hanging out with the Arkells was like, man, you guys are like super cool. Like I enjoyed it. We've done it a few times. We've seen each other now multiple times since then. Guys are great.
Too cool.
All right, so Brownie, and Brownie's a tremendous DJ as well. DJ Brownie is sort of an alter ego of his. Enjoyed the hell out of your set in Boston, by the way, that late night show, Brownie, leading up to New Year's Eve. Dr. X, like I said, huge Knicks fan. Brownie, huge Knicks fan. All right, so Dr. X, play a little tennis with the great Mark Brownstein here, man.
So, Mark, give me your road or your journey on becoming a Knicks fan, and what do you think our chances are this summer or this playoffs in terms of like if we could can we stay in the ring with anybody and as well as lose to anybody, or you don't give us a fighter's chance? But just also tell me your journey to becoming a Knicks fan.
So, I grew up in New York City in the 80s and 90s, and I was on 6th Avenue and West 12th Street, so I was right by Madison Square Garden, and we went all the time. It was just like the Westminster Dog Show, the Horse Show, whatever, the Knicks games, the WWF concerts, like whatever it was happening. And this was like a outside of one little problem that we had in Chicago, it was a really like a glory. There was just like a little thing that was preventing the Knicks from going all the way, named Michael Jordan. But the one year, if you remember, the one year that you remember that Michael Jordan went to play minor league baseball, the Knicks got really, really far into the playoffs, and then we ran into Hakeem Olajuwon, right? So
exactly.
Yeah, there were some issues back then, but I mean, it was being a Knicks fan. It was with Ewing and Starks, and the whole thing was so exciting to be at those games, And as like I started to get deeper and deeper into music, and then there was like the Allen Houston, Sprewell era, and the Knicks were like upside down, like the financially, like they had just put so much money into these players that weren't producing what we needed them to produce, and there was a couple good years, but it wasn't what I was born in 1973, so I don't remember any championships ever happening in New York. Kind of like drifted out of basketball for a while, to be honest. Like after that era, it just like got frustrating. I was in Philly, I was playing music, I was on tour, and it just got frustrating to like, stick with the Knicks. And I just like lost interest in the sport altogether. And then over the last year or two, the excitement around Brunson is palpable. It's just you can feel it here in Philly. I feel the excitement up there at Madison Square Garden in New York. It's just like seeping in. And so last year when the playoffs started, I was like, I'm not missing 1 minute. I'm back. Like I am back. I've got a close friend drag me back in. And I was like, I'm not missing 1 minute of these playoffs. And I didn't. I watched the whole entire thing. So I've like trailed off again a little bit during the year. I cannot wait for the playoffs. I'm going to try to get to some games this year. I think, I think that the Knicks right now, like I think that they have a chance. You have to go in believing in your team. I think that they could win it all. I wouldn't be excited for the playoffs if I didn't think the Knicks can win it all right now. I think Brunson is such a special player. You honestly never know what you're going to get, but when you get deep into the game, I feel comfortable with the ball in his hand every single time. Every single time. I never feel uncomfortable putting the ball into Brunson's hand.
I love it. I
ice.
concur. Yeah, what's crazy, Mark, is I'm experiencing what you experienced growing up. So now I live in Hudson Yards as well. And in that area, I'm on 30th and 10th. And I'm walking distance to the Garden now. So it's
You're
amazing.
right
But
there.
I actually grew up. Yeah. I actually grew up in money earned in Mount Vernon. So I was born and raised in New York. I actually was born in Queens, but raised in Mount Vernon. And I went through that same painful era. I also have PTSD from all the losses to the Bulls and all that good stuff. But it's all good, man. But yeah,
Trust me.
I believe we have a chance.
I feel it. Listen, Phil and I are first cousins, so I feel the wrath every single day.
Every day. Literally every day.
Every day.
We all do on the
do you have a
text chain.
Yeah.
I got a question. I got a question, Brownie, if I can call you Brownie. I don't know how close somebody has to be to use the nickname, but we're all in New York. I grew up in Westchester County as well. Maybe, and look, you can't obviously speak for everybody, but my counterpart over here wearing the UConn shirt, maybe we can get him back on screen. And I bring that up because it's like, to understand what it is to be a tri-state area fan, right? Like the way you're sucked back in. I love everything you're saying. Like when you're in New York, New Jersey, and then Connecticut specifically, right? Like everybody understands, what it is to be part of like, oh, we're in the Boston area or that Northeast, right? Like in New Hampshire. But like tri-state area is a very different vibe. And maybe, Brownie, you can really speak to this a bit more about like, I love the fact you've been brought back into Knick Nation. I'm getting there myself each day, just so you know, Doc. I'm like, I'm rooting hard for them. I mean, they're my first love, of course. Trumps everything we talk about with basketball. But again, maybe you can expound on that a little bit for us, just the vibe of tri-state sports and specifically basketball, what it really means.
Yeah, well, like I think back to like Chris Mullen, like the St. John's and like the excitement around that stuff back in New York in the 80s, 90s. It was like, it's just like the culture is built around it, like street ball. Like, it's like you're like, you grew up on 6th Avenue. I can't tell you the countless number of hours that I sat at the 6th Avenue and West 4th Street court watching people play street ball there. It's phenomenal the energy that they bring at the courts all over. I mean, the courts all over the city are like that, but specifically like 6th Avenue, it's wild at that court. It always has been. I live in Philly. I don't know what it's like up at that court right now, but I occasionally I see some like Instagram posts of some street ball happening there in Greenwich Village. It brings back crazy memories. So, it's like that kind of street ball that happens there in Manhattan is like, it's like pro basketball, like that's what it, to me, what it seems like. It's like, there's just a huge crowd and the people are unbelievable at it. So I just think there's the culture basketball specifically permeates through the culture through all of the boroughs. I don't know about Staten Island so much. And Brooklyn, I grew up in Brooklyn and then moved to Manhattan, and Brooklyn by far, I mean, the culture around basketball in Brooklyn is over the top, and especially where I grew up in Flatbush, it was wild, the culture there around basketball. And who's from? Is it Marbury?
Oh, Stephon Marbury?
Is he?
Yeah, Coney Island. Yeah, Coney Island.
Coney Island.
Coney Island. Yeah, yeah.
You guys are good.
That was real fast. That was real
You
good.
guys are good.
You guys are quick with it,
Stefan
Jason. I
Marbury
see you.
the whole family, and that came out of that kind of like street ball culture there. So I'm that's like New York to the max right there, from Coney Island to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
Hey,
I feel like I gotta
Marlon,
add North Jersey there too, though. You gotta kind of add North Jersey into that New York echelon because you know what I'm saying.
Of
Because
course.
when you start on South Jersey, you start saying like DMV, but North Jersey, I feel like that's the New York players, like Kyrie Irving's. You talking about Shaq?
Yeah,
like the players that came from that little bubble. Man, it's
of
crazy
course.
out there.
Is that where you're from, Marlon?
Born and raised in Philly.
Philly. Okay. I like Philly too.
So that was
2
going
hours
to be
away.
my question, Marlon. So who's your team? Who do you have frustrations with as a fan?
How long y'all got? No,
We got a while, as long as it takes.
We got as long as you need.
So
bro.
right now,
go right ahead.
all right. So growing up, obviously being in Philly, initially I was getting introduced to basketball by my godfather, and he was actually friends with Mo Cheeks. So I would go and they have this place down here called the Bellevue, where like the players would go and work out and play and stuff. So I would go and
I'm aware.
do like little pickup games. So I would go down there and hang out, do little pickup games and stuff with Mo Cheeks, and depending on what like D1 players and stuff that was there. And this was like I was a kid, so I wouldn't be really like running. I would be like more so watching. Every blue moon they let me play with them. I get a couple buckets and something. Was having some fun because that's like my first love, basketball. So a lot of times I would go to the games. I had no real clue what was what, and then Allen Iverson got drafted, and I was in love. Because then it was like, oh, Michael Jordan. My goddad was like, yeah, but you need to learn about this other young kid who's like really tough. And I was like, man, I don't know who this guy is. I don't want to hear about this. And I'm still young. I'm like young and cocky about MJ because you keep saying Michael Jordan win. This is, 95, 96. It's like, what? He won't stop winning. This is the best guy ever. Like, I don't want to hear about nobody else.
Yeah.
So obviously, I go to my first game watching the Sixers, and I'm like, hold up. This kid is like phenomenal. And he's like going crazy. And I think I might have even been lucky to see the game when he crossed over Jordan. But I couldn't. I got older, I was like, oh, he did do that. He literally embarrassed the best player of all time. Okay, cool. This is my guy from now on. So then I just became obsessed with AI and was kind of like going to Sixers camps and like trying to like meet the coaches, meet the players. I was like, I had hoop dreams for real. So I played basketball all the way up until high school.
Nice. And
then I finally said, music pays my bills, so I'm going to just kind of transition, and it worked out.
I like that.
But my love for basketball is like ridiculous. And then as time has gone on, and I cried a little. AI left the sport. Shed a tear. And then LeBron. Luckily LeBron got drafted right before, so I had somebody else to be invested in. And then ever since, I've been like a crazy LeBron fan. And so I support the Sixers because that's like my favorite team, but I mainly support that guy.
Marlon, you and I, as of right now, are friends for life. Thank you very much for being a part of the LeBron James fan club. Welcome, my friend.
No, man, he changed the game for me, man. Like when I got the chance to see like his abilities, and I mean, you could see it as a kid. I mean, even before he got here, which to be honest, it's really, really hard to be what people assume you're going to be starting out in your career and actually becoming that thing, and then going like superseding that. It was mind blowing to watch him do it from 18 until now 41. I mean, watching him against the Rockets the other night, you talking about still dunking like he's 18. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You gotta chill. Like whatever your regimen is, you need to like stop gatekeeping and tell everybody what the rule is. Because we all want to live long. We don't want to look. We don't want to look. I want to look 20 when I'm 40. Please tell me how to do this.
Yeah.
I love his game. His ability to. I mean, you talking about somebody who is high in the rebounds category, high in the assist category. Probably top 10 in both categories, or almost there in rebounds, but definitely there in assists. You talking about number one in scoring. I mean, what can he do? It's kind of annoying that like you would think somebody would have aged out by now. still doing this.
Marlin,
Like, he's doing everything.
Only,
You said free throws. That was crazy disrespectful.
Well, yeah.
He's still like. I thought I didn't hear that. He's still about 70. He's about 72%. We'll take it. We'll take it. Because think about it. If you really watch those Jordan, honestly, if you really think about them old games and watch them games, Jordan was missing. He was 1 for 1 from the line a lot of times. A whole lot of times.
Okay.
And he wasn't shooting threes either. He wasn't shooting threes. He still look. I gotta respect this game. He's definitely, he's the guy. But
yeah,
you gotta just be honest. LeBron is we're now on number 3 of all, in shooting threes all time. Rebounds, assists. I mean,
I have respect for LeBron. You gotta respect it. Yeah, definitely.
But hold on. You know what? Wait. Anytime somebody says I got respect for LeBron, you know the butt is coming somewhere.
You know it.
You know it's coming.
There was no butt. I just said you brought the butt.
number 1 in my book. I have to say it.
Over Jordan?
Only player in history with 40,000 points.
Barbershop vibes.
10,000 rebounds.
I know.
Ain't nobody beating that. Nobody.
But yet, Dwight, you have Michael Jordan in the top. So
yeah, that's me.
Okay.
Jordan's the GOAT, man. Yeah. Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Brownie's the GOAT of bass players. I'll tell you that. Brownie, you're my GOAT, dude. It's slapping that bass. And that includes Les Claypool and all these just absolute giants, man. I would love to know, last question from me, and we'll let you guys go. Would love to catch up with you guys. I don't know, maybe during the playoffs, get you back on. But I would love Brownie and then Marlin. I'm fascinated to know your influences coming up, right? Like what bass player, Brownie, what drummers, Marlin, like just got you inspired and excited? Who did you study, maybe still listen to today? So Brownie, you first on that.
Yeah. So, when I was like really young and just getting into bass, like I really was into Paul McCartney and Roger Waters. I was like into the more melodic, like long note, not flashy per se, not technical, but like the kind of player that always put the right note down at the right time and held it out for exactly the right amount of time. And then, bass started to change a lot, right? Obviously there was thumping, which is what they called slapping back in the day, was happening already. And Claypool was there and he was doing his own thing. And then Victor Wooten came along and that changed like the whole entire game. I was really into it because it was different and it was like lead bass, but it still wasn't like, oh, that's my favorite bass player. I think ultimately I discovered Phil Lesh of the Grateful Dead, and I'm still trying to figure out 35 years later what exactly he's doing. And I have transcriptions of his. It's like, it's really hard to know what he's doing because he, in his own words, never plays the same thing once. It's just like every song, it's just a big, long improvisation. And then in 1993, I was out at Horde Tour and I saw the Aquarium Rescue Unit, and that's where I discovered the bass player Oteil Burbage. And he's really my favorite bass player. He's just so versatile. He was incredible in the Allman Brothers. He's incredible in Dead and Company. He has all the flashiness, and technical ability of Victor Wooten and any of those other guys, but manages to fit in with who he's playing with every single time, always kind of pushing the music a little bit further than the next guy would in that particular situation. I had the very big honor and great experience during the pandemic of getting to take some lessons with Oteil. And it was an incredible experience. He's a great guy. The first lesson was so early in the pandemic. I don't even think he knew it was a lesson. We talked for 90 minutes. And at the end of the 90 minutes, I was like, hey, I do have some questions about bass. I don't want to hold you all day. And he was just so happy to talk to somebody because we had been like, it was like 3 or 4 weeks into like the initial COVID, lockdowns. And he said, "Oh, I'd love to teach you some stuff about bass. Let's just, we'll just like make another session. But do you have a 6-string bass?" I said, "No, I don't have a 6-string bass." And then Oteil sends me a picture the next day, and it's like him holding a box, a bass, like in a box. And then he sends me another picture later. He's like, "What's your address?" Later that day, him outside of a FedEx, like with the box. And then like 2 days later, the bass shows up at my house. He sent me a bass. He told me, "Don't get excited. It's a practice bass. It's nothing great." And I don't know if you remember his band with Paige from Fish was called Vita Blue, sports reference. And I pull the bass out of the box, and instruments, when you travel with them, you put like yellow tape on them, and you label them with numbers and everything. And I pulled it out of the box, and it said Vita Blue, like 6 of 30. And I just sent him a text, and I said, "Hey man, I think you sent me the wrong bass." I opened it up, and it's this unbelievable, like $6,000 custom bass, like totally sick bass. And I sent him a picture, and he was like, jackpot, and actually at the end of Dead & Company's touring, I went to this party in San Francisco. We went to the last show, and I went to this party that Oteil and some of the other guys were at from Dead & Co. And he came over, and he's like, "Hey, Brownie, it's great to see you. Oh my God, this is great." And I said, "Hey, listen, I need your address. I got your bass. Like, I got to send your bass back from like 4 years ago." And he said, "Oh," he's so soft-spoken. He said, "Oh, let me ask you this. Do you ever play it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I play it." And he goes, "Oh man, just keep it." So that's the story of how I got Oteil's 6-string on stage Vita Blue bass. That's it.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible.
Good story.
Yeah. He's probably my favorite player of all time. That's from that experience alone.
Oh, I am so glad that we had enough time to get these questions and answers in. All right, Marlin, it's your turn, man. Let's go down drummer influence boulevard with you.
Man, I have a few. I'd say it started out. It actually started out for me. A family member, my cousin, who actually got me started. Not anybody famous, nobody that anybody really knows. He was just a person I saw from the age of, I guess I started playing at 2 years old, what my parents say. So starting at 2, that was the only person I seen play drums pretty much all the time. And then he like lived with us for a little while. So seeing him live with us and playing drums and stuff like that, I was like so enamored, like, oh, I want to do this thing. Like whatever the thing is, that looks fun, it looks cool. I want to do that. So over time, by the time I was 5 years old, I finally could reach a pedal. And then I started like watching other drummers. And one of the first drummers I got to see on TV, which luckily he's from the city of Philadelphia as well, is Amir Questlove Thompson, who plays along with the Roots.
With the Roots, yep.
So watching him on TV, and again, same thing, just having that personality, being so cool, having the big afro, playing with so many different artists. I mean, he always did this thing when he would play on drums and stuff, but he had like this big afro. He always had the pick in it. Mm-hmm. He played for Jay-Z. I mean, you talking about he played every TV show for every artist. He was just doing everything. And I was like, man, I want to do that. And what that was for me was not be stuck in one genre. I want to be able to say that I don't care who calls me for whatever gig, whether it's EDM, house, jam band, whether it's R&B, whether it's gospel, whether it's jazz, like anything you call me for, I wanted to learn how to do it.
K-pop.
Yeah. So it's like, I just kind of wanted to learn how to be a well-rounded musician. So over time, Quest took me up into a certain point of at least understanding the basis of everything and how to make everything feel good, make people still dance and have a good time. Then it turned into me starting to pay attention to this guy named Vinny Colaiuta, who is the drummer for, maybe even still currently the drummer for Sting. And why I started getting into Vinny is because Vinny is probably one of those type of people that if you look at, you would probably say like, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. He's like the perfect definition of that. You look at Vinny and how he dressed, how he talks, how he looks. He wears like the old school, like single frame, like thin silver frame glasses. like he's such a chill, like nerdy looking guy, and then you sit him down on the drums and he played his behind off. He literally played. He was playing TV shows. He played for Shaka Khan. He was playing. I'm talking about any genre you can think of. He was playing. So then, the more I started researching and looking this guy up and understanding like how many different genres he played and why he was so good and fluent in the genres, I said to myself, man, like that's the level I want to be at, you know, to understand this music thing the way I really want to understand it. I need to start doing some more studying and understanding like Latin music and jazz music and different things. So then when I got to Berklee College of Music, which is in Boston, I forced myself to now study with probably 4 or 5 different like teachers. Everybody wanted to go to the same teacher and do their all 8 semesters there. I said, cool. Semester 1, I started working with this guy named Rob Morgenstein from the Dixie Drags. Then I went from Rob Morgenstein to Mike Mangini, who was playing with Dream Theater for a while. Ralph Peterson, who was like a jazz legend, and then this guy named Kim Plainfield, who rest in peace, was like really huge in Latin and fusion music. So that's what allowed me to kind of just continue to broaden my horizons and understanding how to play with different artists, different types of music, and then just at least be able to live. Even if I'm not the best at it, I can at least live within each genre and be able to have a good time.
The thing is, he is the best at it.
Yeah, you're doing more than living.
Particular part.
You're thriving, Marlin. You're not living. You're thriving, man. Brownie, Marlin. Marlin, it's so good to meet you, man. I'm already a huge fan. Brownie, you already know, man. But for all of us here, can't thank you enough for spending some time with us, man. It is a blessing. We are totally grateful. And I will see you guys on stage very, very soon. I don't exactly know when. But good luck to your Knicks, Brownie. And Marlin, I would say good luck to LeBron and maybe vicariously your Lakers.
I mean, I'm about to say, because you see they're doing really good right now. We ain't want to get into that, but you know. Doing really good right now. That's so good.
Y'all are Brownie, you guys are going to be watching on League Pass tonight. Lakers and Pistons, man. I already know how this goes.
You see they let Luka play tonight, man. You know, thank you to the basketball
crazy.
Oh, we already debated that, Marlon. We already debated it. This is a sports debate show. We already debated that. But you guys, safe travels. God bless, and thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, so obviously, like, thrill of a lifetime kind of thing right there. For me, this is my band, guys. This is I've seen them, I don't know, 100 plus times. But I don't want to keep our next guest waiting any longer. We had issues with the great Ra Libo. And there he is, man. And he's Doc, look at that. Doc, look at that app, man.
I know, I see.
The Knicks gear.
Knicks,
Ra, what's
baby,
up,
let's
man?
go. Let's go.
You're feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Hey,
orange and blue,
Ra,
baby.
thank you so much for your patience through this process, and so we really appreciate that. Sorry, I got a sneeze coming on here, but Ra Libo, great actor. Pardon me. Ra, picked up a cold, man. So I got a head cold going on here, but it doesn't matter. Movies, TV, wherever else. This guy wears so many hats, man. Ra Libo, actor, producer, stunt coordinator. I'd love to have one of us to ask you a question about that. Former athlete. He's a model. He attended Arizona State University, played football and basketball there, okay? Long list of film and TV credits. 1999, Any Given Sunday, he played a wide receiver. 2004, he was on The Wire. 2011, he was in the remake of Conan the Barbarian. 2022, The Walking Dead, one of the most famous shows of all time. 2015, Bone Tomahawk. What a name of a movie. And he played a character called Wolf Skull. Okay. He was Jim Magazine's Fittest Human from 2007. You're slacking, Ra. You're not. I mean, you're slacking. That was way back in 2007. What's going on here?
Hey, man, I'm trying to keep up with it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little older now, but I still got it. I can give him a little something.
Oh, I'm just being sarcastic, man. I know you. So I know Ra. He was the star of the ethereal, the Dick Dactyl Particle. through director Blake Emery, and I'm buddies with Blake. Like we hang out and all kind of play music together and all kinds of stuff. But he's an artist and a total badass and frankly kind of a genius. But he's the director. Ra was the lead character. I played the mayor, so like a supporting, down on the credits kind of character. But I really studied law and Raw and how like before they said action, like Raw's like locked in and like you saw this like stern look on his face. He's concentrating, thinking about what he's got to do. And I was like, because I can relate to that from TV, right, Ra? Like you're going on TV and okay, get ready. Like it's not time to laugh and smile and have fun. It's time to get the job done, right? And I was watching, I was like watching a real actor work, and it was super, super dope, man. But that was fun. And so we met during that process, and Ra, here we are.
Yeah, man, it's great. And, talking about that, that's one of the things I picked up early on. And you want to see somebody really intense. When I was working with doing The Wire with Idris Elba, and Idris was playing this character, Stringer Bell, on The Wire. And he would lock in like nobody's business. In fact, you had to call him Stringer Bell all day, like even when he was offset. Like that's locking in. Like that's a whole nother thing. So, that's my buddy. I learned a lot from him. He's a great actor. And you were fantastic, man. You were absolutely great. You didn't even need my help.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go, Rick.
I appreciate that.
There you go.
I don't know where any of that comes from, but Ra, I'll take the compliment, man. All right, so Ra, let me introduce you to the crew here. So lower right-hand corner here are our LA studios, which are fabulous. And to the right side, wearing the UConn hoodie very proudly today, is the great Dr. Phil McDonald, a.k.a. Dr. X. He's a sports medicine radiologist, Ra, one of the best in the country. He's our founder, creator, patriarch, created this network. He owns a team in the TBT, and many, many other things. He's also the mayor of LA. I always forget that, but not this time, Doc. A.M. Pfeffer's right next to him. He's a businessman, anchor, author, sports analyst, and a hell of a guy. And then lower left, we have Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend. He played in the 1988 Seoul Olympics with the Canadian national team, played overseas for many, many, many years. So we talk a lot of hoops, and this is the crew. So I want to bring in Dr. X. You got a question? I know you got a question or two for Ra, so hit it.
Well, Lo, where are you based? Wearing that Knicks hat with pride. I like that.
Yeah. So right now I'm at 58th and Madison.
Oh, you're in New York. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm in New York. Yeah, man. I literally grew up a Knicks fan, man. I was born in New Jersey, in Newark, and so I used to hop on the train, the PATH train, get over there, and I would watch, Patrick Ewing and John Starks and everybody, man. So that was my team. And obviously, if North Jersey, New York area, that's what you see. It's like being in Philly and South Jersey. That's your team. So I'm a Yankees and Knicks fan.
I like it. Yeah, and I was going to ask you what your journey was to become a Knicks fan, but you already explained it. And I'm also from Queens, born in Queens, but raised in Money Earned in Mount Vernon. So that's where my origin story comes from. But I just want to know what your thoughts are on the Knicks' chances this year to win it all. Not just get to the finals, man, but win it all.
I'll tell you, I mean, with this injury to Cade Cunningham, hey, listen, I'm just being real, what are we, right? Third seed right now?
Yeah.
If we could get by Detroit, man, I think Detroit's a problem. But with that injury, though, it's not the same. So we'll see. They're not the same team. They can't be the same team. He's such a great player. So if we don't have any injuries, and I'll take it.
Yeah. We wouldn't see Detroit until the Eastern Conference Finals, and they have to get through a couple good teams. We were just having that debate earlier about the East is a little deeper than we think. Teams like the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks, those type of teams would give Detroit some problems. It's just all about matchups. That's my take personally. But yeah, I think the Knicks, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, just like you never know what team you're gonna get. We could beat any team, but we could definitely get swept by any team as well.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? It sounds crazy, but if Embiid plays, don't sleep on the 76ers either.
Right.
Because they can eliminate some people. I'm not saying they're going to make the finals or anything like that, but that's a good team. That's a good team when they're together. So don't sleep on them either.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good point.
Absolutely, Rob. Thanks for being on the show.
Yep. A healthy Philly team is kind of dangerous. Huge question right now, though. Dwight Walton, play a little tennis with the great Ra Libo here on Beyond the Surface.
Ra, I want to thank you very much for being on our show today. Thank you very much. My question to you, growing up, did you want to be an athlete? Was acting and producing a part of your thought process? Did you fall into it? Or listen, I understand my journey. I was either going to be a musician or an athlete. I made the right choice. I was an athlete. But to your story, where does the acting and the producing fall in your journey?
Oh man, guys, this is totally by accident. Like literally 100%. Like I had no intentions on being an actor or anything of that nature. I was an athlete. I was going to take that as far as it went, and then I was going to do really what Rick is doing. I was going to work on TV. Do interviews, maybe celebrity interviews, but hopefully sports. My degree is in communications with an emphasis on radio and television. So that's what I was thinking, but man, one thing led to another. I'll just tell you a quick story. It's a really, really a complicated story because there's 5 elements to this story. But one of the things that happened was I was working for E! Entertainment Television, and I was interviewing Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro's staring at me, and I'm trying to talk to him, but he's looking at me real funny, and he says, "Are we done with the interview?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "Can I tell you something?" I says, "Sure." He says, "You're in the wrong business." And so I said, "What's that mean? Like, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you should be acting." And I said, "Well, why do you say that?" And he said something very interesting. I didn't get it at first, but he said, "You are the only one that could be you." And I said, "I'm the only one that doesn't make sense even when I say it." But so I said, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And he said, "If I needed 10 surfer guys, I can get blonde hair, blue eye guy right away, 15, 20, 100 of them." He said, "But you, there's only one." So I said, "Oh, wow, that's great. Thank you, man. I appreciate that." And he gave me his phone number. This is a totally true story. He gave me his phone number, said, "Call me next week." I blew him off. I didn't. I did. Because I did not really take it seriously. I thought he was just being a nice guy. So I said, forget it. I'm not going to call him. So literally 3 months after that, I think I was at the People's Choice Awards or something. Yeah, it could have been People's Choice. And I talking to Henry Winkler. And Henry Winkler's looking at me and he says, "You're in the wrong business." And I said, "No way. No, don't do this. Don't do it." I swear. And he says,
"Are you serious right now?"
I swear to you. And he says, "Did anybody ever tell you should be an actor?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." And I says, Mr. Winkler, you are not going to believe this, but Robert De Niro told me this about 3 months ago. And he says, "Oh, Bobby, Bobby told you that? And I said, yeah. So he says, wait a minute. And he calls him on the telephone while I have the microphone in my hand and everything. He just calls him up and he says, Bobby, you remember that guy you met 3 months ago? Yeah, long hair, green eyes. Yeah, he's right here. He's right here. Yeah, hold on. He puts me on the phone with Robert De Niro, and then Robert De Niro's questioning me as to why I blew him off, and I'm trying to explain myself. Yeah, man, it was crazy. And he took me out there for a screen test. And I did a screen test for him. They don't do screen tests anymore. So this is pretty much dated what I'm doing here. But yeah, so a screen test is when, you have 2 or 3 people lined up. They sort of judge you. You read. Yeah. And I did that, and that was done. I thought it was over. Literally the next week, I was on the wire with Idris Elba. So
wow.
Hey, Raw. Raw.
Wow.
That means that this was supposed to happen for two well-known people, Robert De Niro and Henry Winkler, to say the same thing. You best believe you were. This is the path you were supposed to be on.
Yeah, and it's even I'm getting emotional talking about it right now because it literally changed my life. Literally, like just one thing led to another. From the wire led to this, and then to that, and then the directors obviously they work on different stuff. They go, oh, I know a guy. Boom, they hire me. All these things were happening, and wow. That's how I ended up. That's the very short version. There's more to it. There was a stunt show and all that I ended up winning. It was a stunt reality show, and then there was my girl at the time saying that we don't spend enough time together. But there was we figured all of that figures into this. But yeah, that's basically how it happened, and I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, it's. For those two things to happen and that sort of a time that meant something. So yeah.
Congratulations, man.
And then Henry Winkler puts you on the phone with Bobby De Niro on the air. Yeah. I'm calling him Bobby like I know him. But that story is absolutely phenomenal, man. Yeah, as I perceive that, I wear the cross. I'm a believer and a follower. God used a couple of conduits to get you on track, my friend. Robert De Niro and Henry Winkler, man.
Well, what's really crazy about that? That wasn't my first acting job. I did Any Given Sunday, and I went on there. I went on. Someone said because I was already playing football, so they said, you know what, you should audition for a wide receiver or whatever they need over there. So I did that, and I made it, and I was in this scene with Al Pacino. Oh, it was great. Al Pacino, Jamie Foxx, LL Cool J, and we're in the locker room, and man, LL and Jamie Foxx got into a fight. I don't know if you ever heard about this. That was bad.
Yes, I did.
Like for real, like Raw for real.
Yeah,
like you're not like
no,
for
they
real.
They had a fight. Yeah.
Who won?
Yeah.
Wow.
And, okay. So this is crazy. So Jamie is supposed to chip LL, just like chip, not really hit him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And LL's supposed to, act like he got hit. So it's not, we're not out there trying to kill each other. But when you get a bunch of males and put them in football uniforms, man, things change. It's unbelievable. And no, really, it does. It's just like all the testosterone and all that is just flying around, and everybody's like, But anyway, so he's supposed to chip him, not seriously, but Jamie lays into him, and LL's like, yo, hey man, what was that about? And he goes, what? You don't know how to act or something? And then LL goes, man, don't do that again, man.
Yeah, that was some
So-
fighting words right there.
This is really funny. We run the scene again, and Jamie does the same thing. Just lays into him. So LL goes, "Hey man, that wasn't no accident, man." And Jamie said something really crazy. I don't want to repeat it. And then LL goes like this: "Oh, we got to do it again? Bet. Now, when a person from Queens, New York, says, all right, bet, that means something's getting ready to happen." Right? Something is getting ready to happen. So they do the scene again. He comes, Jamie comes to hit him, and LL punched him right in the face. Jamie was on the floor, knocked out. I'm telling you.
With a helmet on?
Knocked out. Right through. Bam! Right through.
Oh, good aim.
Knocked out.
Yeah, that's it.
Mama's gonna knock you out.
I heard about that.
Play that, y'all.
Yeah, I thought of that. And what's funny was Al Pacino's reaction was this. That was something, wasn't it?
Of course. Gangster.
Oh man, knocked him. Knocked
Oh, yeah,
him out.
There was a lot
man.
of space. There was a lot of
So
space.
that was the end of the fight. It was a one punch fight, is what you're saying.
Yeah. But what happened was it made the set real tense, and
I heard about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, it made the set really tense because now everybody's thinking something's going to happen because LL had his crew there, from New York. They was down in Miami. He was filming this thing. And then Jamie, he's calling people, blah, 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 blah. And he had his people. And so now it's like, what is getting ready to go on? You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. And my trailer is literally in between them both. And I'm like, oh my God, man. This is gonna be, I don't even know how I got into this. So Jim Brown saved it. Jim Brown got LL and said, look, man, y'all need to talk, blah, 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 blah. He got Jamie, Jamie was like, I don't want to talk, blah, 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 but he eventually got there. And they got together, man, and Jim Brown saved the entire production. Jim Brown saved Any Given Sunday. He really did. Because that was going to be bad, man. I don't know what they would have done because people would have been bruised up. They couldn't film until later if that happened. So, that's a true story, man.
Yeah.
Okay, that was absolutely fantastic.
Like
AM Pfeffer, hit Ra Libo here on Beyond the Surface with a question or two.
How am I supposed to follow up with any of that? Those are two back-to-back incredible stories. Wrong. That was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love it. You know what? Rick had mentioned you got stunt coordination in your background as well. I was curious about that. I actually saw a great movie not that long ago. I finally got around to watching Ryan Gosling's The Fall Guy, right? Like about stunt coordinator. I mean, like that movie was way better than I expected it to be. Very cool. Maybe you could tell us some amazing story about that or how much of your career has involved stunt coordination as well, besides being an incredible actor. And by the way, I do want to say this. The fact that you were in Any Given Sunday, The Wire, and The Walking, like Pantheon top 10 sports movies of all time, and two of the Pantheon television shows of all time. Like if you had ever been in just one of those, your career would have been like you could have skated on that forever. The fact that you've been in all three, sir, amazing. Incredible.
I appreciate it. So yeah, well, the stunt stuff is absolutely amazing because it's really what I love most. So I'm one of a few actors. There's a few, Tom Cruise, a couple. I like to do my own stunts when I do a movie, and that's because I always feel I can do it right. Not that anybody else can't do the same thing, but it is you, and if you can do it, I'm one of those people that like to do that kind of stuff. Oftentimes they try and hire a stunt double for me, which almost seems weird for me. coming from all that. But stunt coordination, man, is it's an art, and people don't understand how really difficult it is, man. You have different things with fire. I've been on fire 2 or 3 times, and yeah. It's and with this long hair, it ain't easy, man. So yeah. It's actually been burned a couple times.
Okay.
So yeah. I've been, they burn it, they put you out and stuff like that. That sounds funny, right? 19 seconds you got. They put this gel on you, and you do whatever you got to do. You got 19 seconds to get it done. After that, that's a wrap. So
it's very specific.
Yeah. But the world of stunt coordinating, like I said, is really an art. And I've been fighting for trying to get the Academy Awards to give out an award for that. I mean, we got awards for best set design, best I don't know, it's everything, literally all kinds of awards at the Academy Awards. But you would think they would have something for stunts and stunt coordination, and they don't.
They should.
Yeah. So, because some of this stuff is really it's dangerous, and you wouldn't have a movie without a lot of it. So I mean, that's something I've been campaigning for, and hopefully that'll come to fruition at some point.
I love it.
Wow. Okay, I'm so glad they put this picture up, because I was going to go in a different direction with a question. Put that I haven't seen this film, Ra, but right. There you are, the lead, right. And you're on the back of the neck of some kind of weird psychedelic tripped out serpent, and the movie's called Bloodspawn. Could you please tell us a little bit about this joint right here?
Well, believe it or not, for several weeks, it was the number 1 show on Tubi. It's the number 1 movie on Tubi. Yeah. So basically, So let me tell you a little bit about my background before I explain my ethnic background before I get into that. So my mom is from Brazil. My dad is Comanche, Indian, and African American. Hence my crazy look. So Bloodspawn is about a Native American. It's about, I guess, around 1850, and they capture him. And there's this monster called the Uktena that's a legend, but turns out not to be a legend. And the interesting part about the movie is he ends up saving the very soldiers that captured him. And he ends up being a hero at the end. And I would only play it if that were the case, because, my conscious mind is always thinking of, how Native Americans and stuff are portrayed. And so I was very, very adamant about the fact that, he has to come out good at the end of this. So, but yeah, there's a lot of great stunts in that. I'm on top of a monster. You got to see that battle. That's
wow. I'm gonna watch it now. I have to see Bloodspawn. I have to see this movie now.
That's one for the ages. And that we filmed that in Virginia. It was absolutely fantastic. The people of Virginia were fantastic. That was my first time filming there, and it was great. Enjoy that movie because it's a lot of fun.
I can't wait, man. So the question I was going to ask you, the question I was going to ask you actually fits perfectly with what you just said. I'm curious because you've played good guys, you played bad guys, probably every type of character in between. What do you like? There he is Dick Dactyl in the Ethereal series. What do you like playing better, Ra? The bad guy or the good guy? And not necessarily, like you said, in the cultural aspect with Native Americans and wanting to be respectful of that, but just sort of like with everything being equal, right? What would you rather play, the bad guy or the good guy?
This is an easy answer. The bad guy.
I knew it.
No. Because listen, when you're the bad guy, you have a script, but you don't really have a script. You can sort of do what you want to do, and the director will probably love it. He might even say, "Get even worse than that." You know. But when you're the good guy, you have sort of a script to follow, like a line that you're not supposed to cross. When you're the bad guy, you cross all kind of lines, and then they can decide whether or not they like it or not. You know what I mean? So you can just really just cut completely loose. When I was doing Bone Tomahawk, that picture you see right there, I'm choking Kurt Russell. I never forget this. This is another great story. This is another great story. All right, so I'm choking Kurt Russell, right? And I think the director said cut, but we couldn't hear him because we had this thing on my ear. And I couldn't hear him, so I'm choking Kurt Russell. I got him, and somebody said, "Hey, man, get off of me. Let him go." I'm like, "What?" Oh, Kurt, you all right? I must have been choking him for 3.5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. But when Kurt gets up and he's holding his throat and he said, "Well, I think we sold that one."
That's hilarious.
But Kurt was really adamant about me really trying to cinch my hands in there. And I got pretty strong hands. So sometimes I don't know. I don't know. My hands sometimes.
You're causing actual damage.
Yeah. He got up and held his throat, man. I was a little worried. I'm like, oh man, I just messed up Kurt Russell's career. I'm done. I'm finished. But he was all right. He was okay. He made it back to Goldie that night. So
that's funny. That's good stuff.
There it is, right there. Look. So was this before or after the scene you're talking about?
So it's actually after. It's like maybe 2 or 3 days later, because basically for the length of the movie, I'm trying to kill him, which you wouldn't know from that picture. I'm actually trying to do him in, and what a fantastic guy to work with. You know how you have I have a set of actors that I said, man, now that I'm in the business, man, I would always love to work with these people because I remember them as a child. One of them was Kurt Russell, and because I remember Kurt playing all these different characters when I was
Pliskin. God. Remember Pliskin, Escape from New York? You gotta love Pliskin, man. Yeah,
Escape from New York, and I talked to him about that. He said that was his favorite time, his favorite movie. He said that and a movie called Death Proof, where he basically just drives around picking up women. I won't tell you the rest of it.
Yeah.
But he's pretty evil in that movie. But he said that he worked for Tarantino in that one. So Tarantino allows you to do what you want to do. And so him playing Snake Plissken was absolutely his favorite movie of all time. But Kurt Russell I had on my list. I had Sandra Bullock I had on my list. I ended up working with Sandra. That was great. I want to brag because she was kissing me all over the cheek. I just want to brag about that. That's me, Sandra, and Melissa McCarthy in the movie The Heat. Yeah, man. Fantastic people, man. That movie was a lot of fun as well. Now that I'm mentioning it, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess they're all a lot of fun in their own different way, right?
Oh yeah. Melissa McCarthy's as funny as we all think she is, right? Is she just machine gun fire jokes off camera too?
I'm gonna let you guys in on something that you may not ever believe. Okay, here it is. First time on TV ever. In real life, they are opposite.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So she's straight as an arrow, like, and then she just turns that on? Wow, is she talented? Holy cow.
Sandra and Melissa are opposites in real life.
Oh, so Sandra Bullock is the ball buster off camera.
Yes.
Aha.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got you.
Yes. And Melissa's so quiet. She's walking around like, I'm like, what is wrong with you? This is not the one, the Melissa I saw on set. Totally different person. You know, like a lot of actors, but yeah, totally opposite.
That was, see, it's funny. It's
Wow.
funny you say that, because that was my experience. I met Jamie Foxx. I went to his house way back in the early 2000s for a 4th of July barbecue, and I'm expecting to see Jamie be Jamie Foxx, and he was the totally complete opposite. Subdued, quiet, wouldn't talk to anybody. I'm like, this isn't the guy I see on TV. So to your point, that's how a lot of them are like that. You think that they're that way because you see them on television, but when you meet them in person, it is a complete 360-degree turn. They're not the same people at all.
Not the same people at all. And let me tell you how shocking that was for me. Here I got Sandra just like saying all this stuff to me. Like, I'm not gonna tell you, but she's saying, she's talking. We're having these conversations, and we're outside now. And Melissa is just like, she's got her hands folded. She's like not saying much. I'm like, Melissa, you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I'm okay. What? What? Come on. This makes no sense. But yeah, absolutely. Great people, though. Both of them. Fantastic. I would do that movie again. They don't want to do it too, though.
Right.
I love it, man. I love it. I got one more for you, and then if anybody else has a question, I'm just curious, Ra, what is the most challenging role you have played? And it could be physically challenging, memorizing your lines was a hiccup, like just in whatever reason, the most challenging role you ever played.
All right. So when we did Conan the Barbarian, we were in Romania, and so it was kind of crazy because they had us on top of a mountain, and another crazy story. They wanted us to work out all the time because they wanted us to be, buff and, ready to go and all that. So they had these trailers that they bought that they hooked together and basically made a gym. I think they were LA Fitness trailers, and they hooked them all together. And if you walk down, it's like all this gym equipment. You could just work out. It was like a gym on top of a mountain. Anyway, long story short, we went down, me, Jason Momoa, and I can't remember who the third person was. We went down into this town because you could only get there on a horse. So we actually took a couple of the horses from the set and went down to this town. And so Jason's hanging out there, and I'm hanging out there, and I realize it's getting late. So I said, man, we got to get back to set because we got to be on, at 5 a.m. we got to be out there. So Jason says, this might not even be the answer to the question you're asking me, but I have to just tell a story anyway. So Jason says, no, man, leave me. Go ahead. Go back. So I said, well, they're going to do a horse count, and your horse is here. He says, take the horse. So I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Okay, I'll take the horse. So I got his horse. I hook it to my horse. I go back. Horses are there. Next morning comes. The director says, hey, Ra, you seen Jason? And I'm thinking, oh, there's no way Jason's still down in this town. There's no way. I got back on a horse, shot back down to that town. Jason's hanging out with somebody. Still, I grabbed Jason, Jason has half his shirt on. I don't know where it went. I'm not asking any questions. So Jason has half his shirt on. We only got one horse. So guess what? Jason has to ride on the back of the horse, holding me like this. And he's whispering in my ear and he says, man, I hope the paparazzi don't get a hold of this, man.
They would have had a field day with that.
Oh my God.
So did Jason nail the scene? Like he was able to fire up and nail the scene or what? Or was he all hungover and
No, you know what's funny? You say to Jason, straighten up and get it going. It doesn't matter, man. He can just turn it on. A lot of people can't do it like that. Jason can handle his liquor pretty well.
I guess.
Next question.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
This storytelling's been off the charts, Ra. Off the charts. I'm telling you. Anybody else got a question for Ra before we let him go?
Well, you didn't mention our movie. You got to talk more about it.
Okay.
The
dictactyl particle. Yeah, like you were the main character. Tell them about dictactyl in this movie. I mean, I played a corrupt mayor that allegedly killed a girl and then gets murdered later in the movie. And so I had a blast playing that part, by the way. But yeah, tell us about it, man.
So Blake Emery directed it, and Adam, I can't think of Adam's last name, but Adam built the set. It's a great, fantastic set builder. But anyway, I play this sort of like this steampunk Dick Tracy type detective. And the special effects that are in this thing are absolutely fantastic. I remember the scene with you walking through the portal. You were great. You were great.
Thank you.
You know what your issue is? See, you're too modest. And you don't want to tell your co-host how great you are. So I will. Rick was fantastic. He really was. He sold.
There you go, Rick. We're proud of you, Rick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ra. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
No, it's true, man. It's absolutely true. I'm not just saying it. I don't hand stuff out like that. I'm kind of mean.
Thank you.
Released,
Look it up now. I want to see this.
When is it released, or where can we find the movie?
So
it's not out yet.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, let us know when
Ra,
it is.
you probably know more details than me. I know Blake told me that there may be the first screening of it in early June, but he said it's fluid. So I'm kind of like shrugging on it. I kind of don't know.
Yeah, well,
Okay, cool. Let us know, man.
that's the information I got as well, and it's part of a larger series. So I believe at first it's going to play at one of the film festivals, and then after that, it's just going to take off. But if you want to see Rick in his Oscar moment, man, Rick's Oscar moment, man.
We're definitely taking we are absolutely taking a little field trip together.
I can see the speech now. I can see it. He's holding it.
Yeah, I love
it.
Ra, you're the best, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to be modest and humble and, just down to earth and grounded and all that. That was a blast. Ra, and so the guys, I don't know if they know this or not, but acting found you, right? So I've always wanted to be a sports media guy. I've always wanted to be a musician as well, right? So check both of those boxes. I've always fantasized of being attempting, just experimenting with stand-up comedy. And I do intend to do that before God comes to get me. But I never, ever fantasized or was like, wow, being an actor would be cooler. I could do that because I listen to music all the time, and not every single time, but I'm like, how would I fit with this group, or am I better than the drummer? But just those thoughts go through your head. That never went through my head when I was watching all these movies or TV shows. Like that, I was judging the actors. I just admired them and appreciated them, right? And so it's funny you say that because Robert De Niro was kind of looking at you like, yeah. So I'll make this story quick. Blake and Adam used to play in a band called Harlow Gold, and Blake is no longer in that band, but Adam is. And so I was at one of their shows, and it was either before or after their set. I can't remember. I'm talking with another buddy. They come out, and I see Blake looking at me. And I had known Blake, but not that well. And I see him kind of studying me, and I'm talking to my friend, trying to ignore this over here. And then he's talking to Adam Ra, and I see them both kind of motioning to me and looking over at me. I'm like, what is happening right now? And then Blake, he didn't say hey or introduce you. He goes, have you ever acted before? And pardon me, let me back up. I heard him say to Adam, I think he's the mayor. And I was like, and I'm talking to my guy, and I'm like, who's the mayor? What's all this going on over here? And then Blake brought me in. He goes, hey, have you ever acted before? And I go, no, but I was a TV host for 17 years on worldwide television. And he goes, you're hired. So that's how that happened.
Wow.
So acting found me, and I have no idea where it's going. I'm 2 films in. I would love to do more of it. But yeah, we have a similar story that way. This thing found me, Ra.
You know, and that's what you'll find, man. Like, so in acting, right? You see one guy was a rapper. Another guy was maybe a stunt guy. Another guy was a wrestler.
Good point.
You know, another guy, right? Like all these people, but yet they're in the same place, right? How did they get there? Not everybody takes the same journey, you know? It's just, you know, how it happens, man. It just how, you know, I was watching a speech yesterday that Dwayne Johnson, who is my neighbor, by the way, and
nice,
and down in Southwest Ranches, Florida, but he was giving a speech and talking about how he got to where he was going. And, you know, Dwayne was a wrestler, you know.
Yeah.
Will Smith was a rapper. You know, all these people are coming from different areas. Some people are comedians, you know. There's no set way to do it. People think there is. And they ask me all the time, how do you, there's no real answer. You know, there's no guide. So those things just sort of happen, man. I think.
What a blessing. Well, what a blessing. But I'm here for it, man. And that led to another role with a director who was friendly with Blake. I got to know her through Blake, and I was actually the lead character in that movie. Ra, it's a little 10-minute short. I play a dad, and it's like a family ripped apart sadness. It's like a real tear jerker. You know, it involves, you know, like a passed away daughter and just all kinds of heavy stuff, right?
Oh,
so I went from the dirty mayor, right, in the sci-fi movie to like the most straight up and down family drama you can possibly imagine. But it was cool. I loved both of them, and like I said, I'm here for more if that's what God has planned for me, man.
All right. Well, hey, listen, when you do that stand-up comedy, man, make sure I'm there, because that is some tough stuff, dude. Like that, yeah. I watch people go up on open mic night, and if you don't have the audience loaded, yo, you know what I'm talking about. You got to have the audience loaded, and you go up there, whoo, man, I got to be there for that.
So that's why I want to do it. Like I hear all these comedians, they talk about like every big comedian that we've ever watched, and Cat Williams and all that, they've all bombed. Every single one of them has bombed. And then they've killed. And it's either you bomb or you kill, right? And so I want to put myself in that fire, like you said, and it wouldn't be a gig. It would be like an open mic thing. But it's just a challenge that I want to do. And I don't know. I may suck. I may completely suck, but I also might be pretty good. But it's just something that I've fantasized about and kind of wanted to do. I actually have a Google Doc where I write down, you know, like driving down the road, right? You get a thought. Boom, I put it in. So I've got a nice bank of material that just needs to be like turned into a routine. But anyway, I love my gig here, man. X-Rated Sports Network, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that's a way on the back burner type of deal.
Absolutely.
But Ra, we can't thank you enough for your time, man. This has been absolutely fabulous. If anybody's got a question, I don't want to cut you off here, but if not, we can let Ra go. All right. Ra.
No, we're good.
All right, cool. So Ra, dude, really appreciate your time, man. Would love to have you back on. Maybe playoff time, Knicks coming back and all that kind of stuff. It should be a long playoff run for them. So Ra,
absolutely.
Yeah,
listen, one more thing. I want to be part of this roundtable thing because I got a lot to add. We were talking about LeBron James and all that. I got LeBron James' story. I got some stuff. I got LeBron James stuff. Maverick Carter is actually one of the producers of my movie, The Hired Man. So we need to talk about this LeBron stuff. We do.
I mean, so Ra, you're an absolute star in showbiz. You know this thing we call the tease. So that was a beautiful tease for the next time we have you on. And we will dive into the LeBron stories and whatever else is clever at that point. But Ra, we really appreciate you, man. Keep it rolling. We're out here cheering for you, and I'll be in touch, man.
All right, man. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Ra.
Thanks, Ra.
Anytime, my bro.
Fellas.
That's way cool, man. That's awesome.
That was awesome.
Fellas. Like a lot of times we get to the end of these interviews, and that was 3 amazing human beings over an hour plus. I think this is the longest episode we've had, and I feel good about it. I hope you guys feel good about it. But
yeah.
That was incredible, man. That was incredible.
I love it.
So I gotta tell you guys something. So I met Ra on set and like a few times. Really, really nice. And as the thing went on and the weeks went on, I would talk to him more and learn more about him and all this kind of stuff. But what we just got was, and like he's really, really focused, right? This movie that we did together wasn't a low budget movie. It was a no budget movie. Okay. And the word on the whole set was the only guy that got paid for the movie was Ra, and rightly so. I mean, he's the guy, right? But yeah, so to get that animation out of him, and he was so forthcoming with stories, and like we didn't even really need to ask him questions. I mean, we just kind of wound him up. That was incredible, man. That was incredible. That was kind of fun. That was kind of fun plugging into Hollywood right there for a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was dope, man. Appreciate
absolutely.
that.
I've had this conversation with AM off air, and I said, for whatever reason, we bring out the best in the guests that come on this show. There's a comfortability. They feel at ease. They feel the want to stick around, which is why a lot of these interviews, when you start to say that you want to wrap it up, they're like, really? I want to stay. I want to.
They don't want to leave. Nobody wants to leave anymore.
Dwight, I've kind of stopped doing that because I don't know. 2 months ago, we'd get to about a half hour, and I'd be like, "All right, well, thanks for joining us." They'd be like, "Dude, we just started." So I've kind of stopped doing that, and I've kind of just let it breathe more because you're right. Almost every guest we have on is like, "Dude, a half hour cannot contain this interview."
And listen, for Lionel Hollins and Jovan Buhan, for some of these guys to come on twice already, that speaks to the respect that people have for you, Rick, and then it just trickles down to the rest of us, and we're very appreciative. Listen, as you said, we're going on 3 hours right now for this show today, and it felt like a breeze, and you can feel it when they're responding to us. They feel comfortable, and I think all of us are doing it. First of all, I think all of us do a pretty good job of asking the questions that they actually want to engage and respond to. So I think we got to give ourselves a pat on the back as well, because we seem to be asking the right questions.
Well, I was going to say, and I mean this, like Ross said, I'm not just handing stuff out. I know all of these people, right? I know them somehow, some way, whether it's, I know them. I've got some I have like a really long past with. So of course they're comfortable with me. The reason that these interviews are working, the reason that people want to stay, the reason people want to come back is you guys. Okay? Because if they're comfortable with me and then you guys were like, asking weird questions or just whatever, which you haven't one time in all the interviews we've done. But to me, I want to like take the compliment. I really appreciate it. And then I want to send one back out to you guys because they could be like, yo, Cam, that was really fun. What was up with that one guy? I mean, not that they would, but you get my point. You guys are killing every interview.
2-part questions.
Okay. Dude, they love the 2-part questions. They love the 2-parters, man. No, but you guys are the reason, man. You guys are the reason that's settling them in. Usually for me, it's 2 questions and boom, let's go around the table. They're engaging with you guys, interacting with you guys, they're vibing with you guys. And so I want to at least share that compliment with you guys.
Likewise, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. All respect due to you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys, yeah, Correa, she said it's always cool to hear lived experience of so many different people. Correa, we appreciate you always, but that's why we do this, right? Me and Doc talked about it could just be a sports show. And it would be one of the best sports shows out there, but Doc had a vision for this to be greater. And I am very, very fortunate and blessed to know, I don't know a ton of people like in Hollywood and music, but I do know some. And a lot of them are goats, the ones that I know. So it's fun to have them on. All right, let's rant a little bit here, guys, and say goodbye to the people. I got to kind of cruise down my rundown here. First of all, guys, Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga. You guys know that I love Jonathan Kuminga.
He laid an egg, Rick.
I mean, I can't. So this is like a sign from me to everybody that that I don't just play one side or one way or whatever. Okay, I have to acknowledge and I'm not saying I was wrong about Steve Kerr and his treatment of Kuminga all those years, but I do have to acknowledge that Jonathan Kuminga might have had his worst NBA game in the get back game of the century. This was Jonathan Kuminga against Steve Kerr, and Kuminga, pardon my French, sucked. He was terrible. He was 1 of 9 and had 2 points. He had 2 points. He made 1 more basket than I did. He had 1
horrible. Okay. Glad to hear that.
JK, bro. JK, you're making your homie out here look bad, man. I've gone to bat for you for 5 years, bro. I've gone to bat for Jonathan Kuminga longer than a presidential cycle. And that's how he does me. 2 points on 1 of 9. John, I'm still down with you, bro. I'm still down with you. I am, okay? I just had to acknowledge that. I'm not saying Steve Kerr was right. I'm not saying any of that. But I do have to acknowledge. And you guys, Jalen Johnson did not play in that basketball game. And my thought was they're because Golden State's tanking. They're a very easy beat right now. My thought was they're pulling Jalen Johnson out to fully feature Jonathan Kuminga, who came off the Atlanta bench again, even with Jalen out. I don't like that. But anyway, and he still went 1 of 9. So that's my rant. JK, I love you. But bro, it's the get back game of the century. I'm going to need more than 1 hoop. Okay, I'm going to need more than 1 basket. Dr. X, it's rant 30, my friend.
Yeah, really excited what I'm seeing with college basketball, even though it's not the most exciting product out there. There were a couple good games speckled throughout this first regional. But I'm really happy that 2 of my teams are always in the UConn and Duke. My pick is Duke. sorry, not Duke, but Duke to win the next game against St. John's. Sorry, Jason. But I also believe that UConn has what it takes, and it's funny because like you have to adjust your mindset on what it takes to win a Final Four because Pitino won with just defense and horrible 3-point shooting. But I feel like with UConn, they're well coached. Their defense could be a little bit better, but I do like the experience that they have in Alex Caravan. And if they just pick up the guard play and the guard play gets something where they can actually, just hang with the players, because there's a lot of good guards left in this dance right now. But I think UConn needs to pick it up with the guard play in the back court. But I think the front court, we got a solid front court and we're well coached. So with all that said, I think UConn has the best chance, in my opinion, to win this whole thing. Let's see if they can pull it off.
Since you just quickly here, how dope was Rick Pitino? Like a buzzer beater to go to the Sweet 16. My man, he didn't smile.
Gangster.
He didn't flinch.
Walked off.
Gangster. Gangster. So watch this. Dylan, I forget his last name.
Darling.
Right now.
Darling.
Yeah, Dylan Darling. Watch this. Watch Pitino. Are you serious right now? St. John's Nation's going ballistically, hysterically crazy, and this MF and gangster just walks to shake Bill Self's hand. Are you kidding me right now?
Of course. What else are you gonna do?
Ricky Pitino. Dude, that's that New York gangster too. That ain't like LA gangster or Florida gangster. That's that New York gangster, bro.
Yep. You gotta act like that's how exactly how you planned it. And then meanwhile inside you're jumping up and down.
Oh man. Yeah, he when he crossed the student section, he yelled out a couple of yes on his way out of the arena. But yeah, he didn't want to that was just gangster, I thought. Shout out to Jason and Kai for having that video on cue like that. AM Pfeffer, it is Rant 30 for you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on the college basketball tip. I appreciate that. This is more shout out before you get out than it is rant. But I'm going to say this. Hey, Iowa, great job. Tennessee, that's pretty cool. But really, Texas, my friends, everything's bigger down in Texas. This is awesome. I mean, because like the rest of this has kind of been chalk, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4 seeds, they're all at where you expect them to be. Not a lot of upsets. I mean, other than some fun ones in like the first round. But here we are in the Sweet 16. It's kind of as expected. But Texas, guys, NC State, the 11-11 in the play-in. It's not often you see a play-in team have to then run and get to the Sweet 16. But it's pretty cool when it happens, right? And then Dwight's favorite team, Miami of Ohio, who ended up making it in themselves, won their own play-in game. And then Texas took them down like, ooh, boo, the big team, whatever. We can all kind of see that, but they made good on it by beating up on Gonzaga, the 3-seed Gonzaga, and here they are. They find themselves in the Sweet 16. I just want to give a little love to Texas. Oftentimes, a very good team, often ranked in the top like 3 to 6 when you see them make the tournament, but here they are, number 11 this year, and I just think it's cool. I mean, as evidenced by my own bracket, I love picking upsets, right? That's why I am in last place. In our own little thing, and I'll own that certainly, but it's a lot more fun when the tourney has them, and it's more fun when somebody, especially above an 8 or 9, is dancing in the Sweet 16. So good on you, Austin. Good on you, Texas. Welcome to the show.
There you go. You're on mute, Rick.
Hey, Rick, we're going to stop telling you you're on mute. See how long
it goes.
Oh, dang it. Dang it.
Let's do that, guys, next time.
Dude, I'm about to catch an HR violation from Noodles, man. Oh, my gosh. All right. Dwight Walton, you're going to bring us home, my friend.
You know what? I'm going to take over my cousin's rant of the Knicks today. Nick Nation, if you thought when you fired Tom Thibodeau, if you thought the pressure for Mike Brown and the Knicks coming into this season was heavy, Cade Cunningham, we don't know his situation right now. We don't know if he's going to be coming back for the Pistons at all this season. The hope is that he does come back, and I think the prognosis does look pretty good. However, if you thought the pressure was heavy on you guys then, it's even heavier now. When you're supposed to win, that's when the pressure is really on. You have the opportunity to take out the Detroit Pistons, a team that has had your number this entire season. And yes, I understand that the regular season is markedly different than the postseason. The Celtics beat up on the Knicks last season, but the Knicks prevailed during the playoffs last season. However, we all thought that because of the injuries at the top to Jason Tatum, the injury and departure of Damian Lillard from the Bucks, and the injury to Tyrese Halliburton, that this was the Knicks' season to finally knock down the Eastern Conference door and get to the NBA Finals. However, a great thing has happened during this whole season. The parity is at an all-time high. We've got 10 teams in the Eastern Conference at 500 or better. And the road for the Knicks is not going to be as easy as once thought. There was even talk, from my cousin in particular, about the Knicks possibly going big game hunting and acquiring Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think that talk has died down a little bit, but it may get ramped up if the Knicks don't do what they're supposed to do and win the Eastern Conference and get to the NBA Finals. I'm not necessarily saying that the Knicks have to win the championship, but I think everybody is on the table, including first-year coach Mike Brown. If you don't get to the Eastern Conference Final, meaning if you lose in the Eastern Conference semifinal, I expect major changes, not changes, major changes to the coaching staff and to the roster. This is do or die right now for the New York Knicks. The Cade Cunningham injury, again, I hope the prognosis is correct and he comes back at least for the final few games of the season so he can get himself acclimatized to what it's going to be in this playoff run. But with that injury, the door is open for the New York Knicks to finally get to the NBA Finals. You've got to do it this season. You have to. Otherwise, I expect major changes to the New York Knicks and their organization.
Doc, any cherry on top, or did Dwight pretty much say everything that he and or you needed to say?
Yeah, the door has been open, but honestly, I don't come from that perspective. I think Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons shouldn't be worried about the Knicks. They have 2 rounds they have to win, and they haven't even got off the first round. So they need to pay attention to what's on their plate and what they need to do to get to the finals. If they're that good of a team, if they're a real number 1 seed, we should be the last of their concerns. Because based on how we played, we may not even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. But I would say Detroit has their work cut out in general, but we wasn't really stressing about Detroit, just so you know.
Oh, we've listened all year. We've listened to you all year,
Doc. No pneumothorax.
Well, hold on. That's fine. But I didn't mention one thing about the Pistons being concerned. My concern is the Knicks. I'm not concerned.
No, I know that.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Piston fans, don't think about the Knicks. You guys gotta get out the first round with Cade Cunningham, healthy or unhealthy, and then you got to do it again in the second round because you guys don't have a track record of. They don't have a track record of winning a series.
That is a fair
Cunningham
point.
At the helm.
Agreed.
Yep.
That's a fair point.
And their GM dropped the ball with not adding anybody of note with the trade deadline. I think they totally fumbled that. They should have gone out of their way to beef up that roster. They could have been a shoo-in for that.
I think that's a good point. I do. I believe that's a good point. The last good point of an absolutely epic, dare I say iconic episode? We are out, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give a big round of applause. Okay, because the audience numbers are still very, very big right now. You guys have been with us the whole time. I hope you all enjoyed the heck out of this show as much as we have. I want to give a huge special shout out to Jason Arambulo and Kai Joseph of Behind the Glass. A ton of moving parts today, and they handled it all very, very well. I kind of thought we
100%.
weren't going to get Raw. I thought they weren't, or not they, but we weren't going to be able to get Raw on. And then all of a sudden, bam, we have an extraordinary interview with Ra. So shout out to Jason and Kai. They always do phenomenal work. But today, it was a little extra. We need a little more elbow grease today, and they provided it. So big thanks to our guests. Mark Brownstein, my go-to bass players. Marlin B. Lewis, my new favorite drummer. They're both in my favorite band, the Disco Biscuits. And the great Ra Libo, one of the great actors in Hollywood right now, for spending a bunch of time with us. And we look forward to chatting with them again. So for Dr. X, for A.M. Pfeffer, for Dwight Walton, and for our great crew, I am Rick Kamla. And we will see you on Thursday with the next edition of Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and a teaser for you. The czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, soon to be Hall of Famer, will be joining us, and we will see you then.